Central Florida. Hi, everybody. I'm John Anthony, along with Neil Beasley at the Florida Citrus Bowl, Orlando. Beautiful day for football. It is homecoming, the 25th anniversary of UCF, and Neil Beasley's been in some tough homecoming games. And what did homecoming mean to you as a player?
Well, unfortunately, here at UCF, we didn't do so well in a lot of our homecoming football games. But as a football player, homecoming means a great deal simply because the rest of the campus throughout the week gears up for one thing, the football game. So there's a lot more people here. They're more excited. It's a day game. You usually don't see that here at UCF, and it just means a lot. It gets you pumped up that much more.
They finally snapped a 3-game losing skid last year against Northwest Missouri State, winning 45-3. So the Knights have a 1-game losing streak, and there's the top 15 now because UCF fell out of the top 10 last week, losing to New Haven.
Boy, the poll, this is the funniest poll I've ever seen anywhere. UCF has a loss, one loss. Texas A&M, number 10, has 2 losses. They were behind us. They jump ahead of us. Same with Indiana, Pennsylvania. They also have 2 losses, but they still jumped ahead of us. I think the poll people, like we were talking before the game, just really don't like UCF for some reason. They showed it in the poll.
They're sending a message to the Knights, who are now 5-1. I just can't understand going from 2 to 14. And you got to remember, the top 16 teams make the playoffs, so the Knights are in trouble. They can't afford another loss.
Yeah, to put it in a nutshell, if they lose this football game here today, they have to win the remaining games. They have to go undefeated in the rest of the games, or they're not going to make the playoffs. That's basically it. And they have the toughest road to hoe. They have the toughest schedule the rest of the way in Division II by far.
The Owls are 0-5. Here's head coach Rich Cavanaugh telling why they are 0-5.
We've been playing some very good people up until this time, and we are very young in our skilled positions, and we just haven't been able to put a complete game together. We've played well in various quarters, but we haven't been able to play well for a full 60 minutes.
Rich Cavanaugh, head coach of the Southern Connecticut State University Owls. They have the longest losing streak in Division II, 14 straight. In fact, they probably didn't like the press, but USA Today had their team in the paper for the longest losing streak in Division II. As far as stats, team stats, UCF, there are the numbers right there. You really can't be too surprised by first downs, yards rushing, yards passing, but turnovers, pretty good number for Gene McDowell's Knights.
Yeah, if you've been following UCF throughout Cablevision of Central Florida's broadcast, you realize these numbers stay pretty much the same. Of course, the numbers go up, but they stay in comparison the same. Turnovers, there's a lot, 29 for the opposition. That means our defense is playing outstanding football. They're getting the interceptions, they're forcing the turnovers, they're quick enough to get on the ball when it is on the ground. Penalties, I think, is the other thing. There's only 69. Now, that's a lot. But last week there was 65, so to only have 69, you got 4 more last game. That's a positive sign. They're moving in the right direction. And, of course, the score, 169 for UCF. Anytime you have the bigger score, you win a football game. That's what you want.
The Knights had 500 yards total offense and lost to New Haven. What does homecoming mean to the UCF football team? Here's Knights quarterback Shane Willis.
Well, homecoming is always important to us as a team because that's when you have your greatest amount of fans, and that builds a lot of confidence in the team from the booster standpoint as well as the crowd, and you get a lot of followers that way. And hopefully one of our own players will become king, homecoming king, Mr. Dave Underwood, one of our senior captains.
That nasty rumor was started by me, I guess, last week when I said Dave Underwood was the homecoming king. You didn't believe me.
I've taken the fifth, but I guess David Underwood, he's a big guy, one of the big offensive linemen, and, you know, whatever he says goes. If he goes to that committee and says, hey, vote me king, they got to have trouble
we'll
saying
listen
no.
to David Underwood. As far as numbers for the South Connecticut Owl team, 10 points a game. They've only scored 6 touchdowns. They lost a heartbreaker last week, 10-6 to Lock Haven.
Yeah, they're having trouble putting points on the board, and that's because they're young. All their offensive backs, you go down the line, freshman, sophomore, biggest guy, junior. So they're having trouble getting the whole team together to play one good football game. They've got good athletes, and that's what scares UCF. Good athletes win football games, but not many.
Speaking of good athletes, we have the individual stat picture right there.
Top players, Gil Barnes now the leading rusher, Giacone out for the year, 324 yards rushing, 3.6 average, not bad. You'll probably see that go up today. UCF is going to want to run. Sean Beckton, the leading receiver, Arnell Spencer, of course, Giovanni Daniels, and Ivan Cropper has come on for Southern Connecticut, and he played an outstanding game last week, had over 100 yards rushing. He's got 11 receptions, 190 yards receiving. No touchdowns. They're having trouble putting that thing in the end zone, but he's a great back, and look to see him get the ball quite a bit today.
And we're down to the field now, just about ready to go for the kickoff. Homecoming here at the Florida Citrus Bowl, Orlando. Southern Connecticut State University won the toss, and they'll be receiving. Jason Hawes and John Kennedy are back to receive for the Owls, kicking off for the Knights, Blake Holton. Beautiful football weather here in Orlando. Temperature in the 70s. Nice sunny skies. You see the crowd there in their shirt sleeves having a good time. We got to mention right now the Knights are very close to 100,000 in home attendance. They need about, 13,000 today. And right now, by estimating, and the crowd is still coming in, I'd say we're about 10, 11,000 at this point.
Yeah, I would say we're going to beat it. You know, customarily UCF, a late arriving crowd, and there's already a good size, pretty good amount of people here today, so we should pass it.
There's the kick by Holton. And it's taken at the 15-yard line by John Kennedy. Struggles ahead over the 25 to the 27-yard line. The Owls have it 1st and 10 on their own 27. Our second straight Connecticut team, and we got to snap that losing skid because last week New Haven put the big surprise on the Knights, winning 31-23. A 15-yard return from Mr. John Kennedy.
You know what's interesting is Southern Connecticut State is from New Haven, and New Haven is in, I think, West Haven. Just a little weird.
Here they come, the quarterback. You see the starting offensive team. The handoff up the middle, close to the 30-yard line, piled up right there. There's the quarterback, Dennis Wade. Steve Spears on the tackle. Carl Newton was carrying the football, gained 1, 2nd down and 9.
If Southern Connecticut is going to be in this game, that number 4 you saw, Dennis Wade, is going to have to play a big role. He's going to have to do it through the air a little bit, enough to keep the pressure off the running game, and he's going to have to be able to run the ball, too.
There are the Nightmares, Simmons, Spears, Lindsay up front, linebackers Patulski, Wiley, Bogan, and Stewart. 2nd and 9, football on the 29. They run the wing tee. And Southern Connecticut State University, the handoff right up the middle, piled up around the 30-yard line. Struggling ahead was Ivan Crawford, maybe got one. Steve Spears wrapped him up along with Bob Spitulski. So it's going to be 3rd down and 8 for the Owls.
John, do you remember the last team we saw that ran a lot of this?
Troy State.
Troy State did. Troy State did an excellent job. Of course, in the semifinal game, they did a better job. But you see, when they don't have the horses, what happens? They didn't do quite as well this year. Well, Southern Connecticut, I think, is even worse off than Troy State. They just don't quite have the people, not experienced anyway, to run this and run it well.
Owls need 8 yards. Wade, back to pass, looks, throws over the middle, incomplete. Overthrew his intended receiver, Carl Newton, around the 45-yard line. Lindsay and Wiley putting the pressure on, and it's a 4th down play.
Well, that shows you when you have an excellent defensive football team, one can make up for the other. Look at this. He's got the time to throw, but the defensive backs, the secondary, makes up for all that great protection from the offensive line. They just cover the receivers. There's nowhere to go, so he just throws up and over incomplete.
Chris Smith will punt. He's averaging over 41 yards a kick. And back to receive, Sean Beckton. 10 men on the line of scrimmage for the Knights. And here they come. Smith gets it off. Pretty long punt, backing Beckton up at the 26-yard line. Beckton running near side, has some blocking, and now he's tackled at the 39-yard line.
On return, Sean Beckton.
UCF in past years has been known to block some punts. This year we have one, but we were noticing in pregame that the punter gets this one off. He gets it off pretty quick, so it's going to be a test for UCF to get a block. Looks like they kind of set up a return. Beckton, using his blockers, doesn't have a whole lot of them. Uses what he can get, picks that out to the 40.
That was a 44-yard punt by Smith and a 14-yard return by Beckton. 1st and 10, Knights have the football. UCF averaging 28 points a game, 413 total yards on offense. Willis, and around to Beckton. Beckton, 40. And he's wrestled down at the 43-yard line, picks up 4 on the play. Reggie Blair got a hold of his helmet and knocked him down.
Well, once again, UCF, the razzle-dazzle team, comes out with a reverse, but I think they were hoping Southern Connecticut would just be so pumped up for this football game, they'd start the sweep, and the whole team would just run over to the sidelines, try and tackle that running back. The receiver would be wide open, but they played it well, stayed at home, picked up just a short gain.
The Owls' defense gives up about 24 points a game and 303 total yards. Most of those yards rushing. So it should be interesting today if the Knights can capitalize on the weak front of Southern Connecticut State. Willis throws wide open to Spencer and knocked down at the last minute around the 32-yard line. Diving and slapping it down, Sean McGlynn. McGlynn, the leading tackler on the team.
Sean McGlynn, you get a good picture of him there. He's 6'1", 195, sophomore. Was a special teams player last year, but has really come on. As you said, he's the leading tackler. Just seems like he does it all for the Southern Connecticut defense.
Go home with a beer. You see the Owls starting defense. DeJoya, Hill, DeFickus, and Stearns.
We're going to have fun with these names.
Whoa. A lot of Italian names and a lot of wild names. on the Owls. They go on the all-time name list here on Cablevision of Central Florida. John Anthony along with Neil Beasley. Glad you can join us today. Homecoming at the Florida Citrus Bowl, Orlando. 3rd down and 6 on the 44. Willis back to pass and throws. And it might be picked off. It could be right around the 45-yard line. It is.
Kirk Gordon, the cornerback out there. Actually, that's on Shane Willis. That pass, he was open. I think he was looking for Sean Beckton, number 4, just on a quick little down and out towards the sidelines, and he just let him too much. The cornerback was playing back deep over there. There you see it. He's got the time. There's a pass just a little out in front of him. You saw if he makes that catch, it's a 1st down. Nice diving catch by Kirk Gordon, showing some good athletic ability.
The Owls have it again, 1st and 10 on the 45. Quarterback Dennis Wade. They're in the wing tee. And Wade hands off, up the middle. Struggling ahead is Carl Newton. Parnell McCall on the tackle. Check that was Giovanni Daniels running with the football.
Southern Connecticut has been going over the left side of the offensive line. They have Eric Peck and Doug Colpoys over there. Both of those guys used to be on the right side last year. Put them on the left side this year, and I guess that's why they're running over there. Those are the returners. Those are the 2 big guys.
2nd down and 7. Wade looking, scrambling, throws. It's complete at the 48-yard line. Keith Evans put the hard hit on, but it's a completion. And that is Ivan Cropper with the catch.
Cropper has come on to play an important role in Southern Connecticut's offense, and they just used him to the hilt last week. He was catching, he was
There's Wade's stats, 42 for 90, 1 touchdown, 546 yards passing. Football on the 48. Wade makes the pitch, and there are flags. A couple of flags down.
I think the clock got him. Whistles were blowing as soon as the play started, and the crowd was going so crazy here that you couldn't really hear the whistles.
3rd down.
Referee Don Carter making the call. 3rd down and 8 now, 5-yard penalty.
That's a big play. 3rd and 8 is a big, big difference from 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3, you can pretty much do anything. You can run it. Option, like you see here, is more of a passing down. And as we know, Southern Connecticut is not that much of a passing football team.
Ron getting a little more raucous here. 1st quarter, no score, 11-10. 3rd and 8, Wade. Pressure, throws it up in the air. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Kevin Moses, and Jimmy Roberts was with him step for step.
Yes, he was. Excellent coverage. Jimmy Roberts, man-on-man out there. And that's pretty scary for a defensive back, man-on-man. But excellent pressure. The quarterback stays in there. Wade gets it away. Look at that. You can't cover any better than that.
Chris Smith attempting his 2nd punt. Knights have 10 men on the line of scrimmage. Beckton back to receive it. Smith, long count. Pressure, gets it off a line drive punt. Bounces around the 15-yard line, and that's where they'll down it. Knights will have it 1st and 10 on their own 15.
I tell you what, that's a close call to being running into the punter. It didn't look like the guy was blocked, and the punter's leg was still in the air, and they didn't call it. That's kind of surprising. Usually you see the flag come out even when it's a little bit where it doesn't even look like it is. That didn't look like it was, and they didn't get the flag.
That was a 38-yard punt for Smith. So he's averaging right around 40 yards a kick for the first 2 punts. 1st and 10, football on the 15-yard line. High formation behind Willis. Here's Sean yelling the signals. And up first back throw is Jordan. Jordan muscles ahead, close to the 20-yard line, down at the 18, picks up 2 or 3 on the play.
Jimmy Jordan, 3rd on the team in rushing, now 2nd because Giacone is out. Doesn't have a whole lot of yards, but he has a good average. I guess the other teams don't expect him to carry it. Average is 5.7 a carry.
Stephen Stearns on the tackle. 2nd down and 7. They give Jordan 3 on the play.
When you see Jordan run the football, that's what you'll see, that quick hitter. That's what they like to do, quick hit with the fullback.
Willis And off to Barnes this time, and Gil Barnes has room over the 20 to the 22-yard line. A pickup of 3 on the play. It'll be third down at about 4. Sean Sheehan and Bobby Gibson on the tackle.
Here's a replay. I think UCF got a little greedy on their first series. They just threw the ball, and then they realized, hey, we don't have to. I think our offensive line and our running backs can get some first downs, can grind out some yardage, plus the bad field position always helps, makes you keep it underground a little more.
Third down and 4 on the 22. Good shot of Shane Willis, the sophomore from Lakeland. Had a great game against New Haven. 35 for 51 in passing. Willis throws. Complete to Belaces. First down over the 30, 35-40. There's a flag down, and Belaces stumbles ahead to the 46-yard line. A 24-yard pickup.
Oh, there's a couple flags down, and I'm not sure, but I don't think they're for the same thing. The first was a face mask. The first defender up there came up and grabbed Perry's face mask. I think the second one may be an illegal block or something. Here's the face mask right there.
Yep.
But he didn't hang on. He let go. Smart play. And then the second one may have been a block out there by Roundtree. Maybe he got him.
Matt Morrow grabbed Belaces' face mask. Here's Carter. Don Carter, the head referee. Penalty on the Owls.
Defense. First down.
I guess the other official was calling a face mask also, but it took him a while to get the flag out of his pocket. So my apologies to Roundtree. Hey, I called him for a bad block.
Yeah, you got to watch that now. He'll remember that.
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Roundtree back at home are sitting there yelling at me.
First and 10. Football around the Owl 49. Willis hand off to Barnes. Hit right at the line of scrimmage and pushed backwards. Richard Kavickas made the hard hit on him.
He's one of the few returnees on the defensive line. He's 6'4", 260 pounds. When you're that big, a lot of times you don't move. There he is. Look at that. He just sheds off the block from the fullback, Jordan, and he is right there in the backfield.
Second down and about 11. Willis rolling, looking, and he's caught from behind. Making the tackle, Pete Cusick. Cusick gets the sack. He was chasing Shane from behind and got him.
Right outside linebacker just came streaming in. Nobody picked him up. Yeah, you see he's going to come from the top of your screen. There he is. Gil Barnes just misses him, just kind of glances the side of him. Willis is looking for a receiver, not looking to run the football, so he's not really running full speed. And Cusick just comes right in and makes a sack.
First quarter, no score. In the shotgun, Willis. In the pocket, throws. It's complete. Grayson over the 50, and he's tackled at the 48 by Bobby Gibson.
Well short of a first down, however.
Bobby Gibson on the tackle.
The punting team comes out.
Actually, the offense is still in there, and the defense has already brought in their punting team, right? That's kind of dangerous. The offense left in there, and Southern Connecticut coaches just already had the punt receiving team on the field.
Barry Key will be punting. He's averaging over 37 yards a kick.
You know, we may have to watch for that. If it's 4th and short later on in the game and that happens, you may see the offense just line up and run a play.
Chris Farina back. Key, high punt, and bounces on the 3, rolls into the end zone. Southern Connecticut State University will have it first and 10 on its own 20-yard line. A 48-yard punt for Barry Key. Britt has to help his average.
Excuse me, Britt Williams is the center now. Doug Cox, we know the long snapper has been out with a broken wrist, and you saw the snap kind of dribbled along the ground there. Key did a nice job to pick it up and get the punt away, but we may have to watch for that down the road, too.
Good night, cheerleaders. First and 10 on the 20. Wade, back to pass. Healthy, hands off. Fake me out there on the 30-yard line, almost a first down. Bill Stewart on the tackle. Anthony along with Neil Beasley, homecoming for the during the football was, and you're watching it live on cable.
Oh, that was a well-designed play. That was well executed. Everyone was thinking pass. Even you were thinking pass. The cameras are thinking pass. They just fooled everyone. And defensive lineman just went rushing right by him. Didn't even think he had the ball. Defensive back for flying back in pass coverage. That's what you're hoping for when you run a draw.
There's head coach Richard Cavanaugh pacing the sideline.
Wasn't quite enough for a first down, though.
Second and 1. off some tacklers running far side is Newton, and he's tackled right along the 30-yard line by Penny Holsapple.
Well, he still didn't get the first down. Holsapple showing some speed. It looked like he was going to bounce off that first wave of tacklers, bounce outside and pick up some good yardage, but Holsapple closed the distance real well and made the stop.
In fact, he lost maybe a yard on the play.
And watch this. Here's the first wave coming in. Looks like he should have had him. Nice spin move to get out of there. Avoids a couple tackles. Patulski also missed one. There's Holsapple coming in. Nice play, nice play.
Third down and about a yard and a half to go. Quarterback sneak's not going to get it. Dennis Wade is stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. He might have lost a half a yard. It depends. Maybe he slipped through that pile, Neil. That's the big problem here.
Well, it looks like they gave him a little bit, but they don't look like they spotted him over the 30. And, of course, the yard marker is...
they gave him the first down. Very generous mark of that football. I can't believe they had Wade stacked up at the line of scrimmage. He must have burrowed under for the yard. Let's watch it.
There it is. Bill Stewart, number 43. Looks like he's going to come in and finish him off. There's Stewart. I guess they're saying he got it there. Boy, they just got it.
First and 10 on the 30-yard line. Wade hands off to Newton. Newton has room over the 35, tackled at the 37-yard line. Got 7 or 8 on the play. Byron Felder wrapped him up. You know about that fake that they did on when I thought they were passing? You know what made that so effective? Wade kept his fists up in the air, and it looked like a football.
Yeah,
he did that.
Yeah, that's what he's taught well. You can tell that's well coached. He handed the ball off, but it was real sneaky. He just kind of slipped it down in his stomach, brought his other hand back up to where it looked like he had the football in his arms.
Owls moving the football, 2nd and 2 on the 38. And off right up the middle, bouncing off tacklers and struggling ahead is Cropper. Gets the first down, tackle at the 46 by Steve Spears.
Cropper is showing some amazing ability. He's just bouncing off people. 6'2", 195. He's only a sophomore, but boy, I tell you what, there must have been 7 shirts that had a shot at him there.
The Owls.
There's a handoff. Quick hitter. Nice job of blocking. Escapes a couple, 3 right there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Everybody taking 5 black jerseys to bring him down.
First down and 10. Football on the 46. Wade looks, throws. Incomplete. Intended receiver Chris Smith running down the far side, and Covington was following him.
I think UCF is probably going to stay with that man-to-man on the outside coverage. Those receivers just don't have the speed, especially that our defensive backs, Roberts and Covington, have to get out there and really beat them deep. I think what you'll be seeing towards later on when they try those patterns, the receivers will get behind him and then make a move like they're going to go out or in. Something. They got to do something to freeze those defensive backs and then take off.
There's a good shot of the quarterback, Dennis Wade, sophomore from Middleton, Connecticut. 2nd and 10 on the 46. Wade in the pocket. Has some time. Now he's going to leave the pocket, hit from behind. And he was lucky to hold on to the football. Simmons got him from behind.
Well, that's the case again of the defensive backs and linebackers with just outstanding coverage, because you saw Wade had all kinds of time to throw that football, but there was just nobody open. And eventually the guys come in. Here's the end of the play. Simmons in there. A lot of times you see a fumble like that, too. The quarterback is not real sure there's a guy behind him, and they stick a paw in there and knock the ball out. Excellent job to hold on to that thing.
Third down and 12 on the 44. No score. 3:49 fast-moving first quarter. Wade, long count. Now he's dropping back to pass. Now he's going to keep the football. And Wade over the 50, 45. To the 40, and he goes out of bounds. First down for the Owls. Dennis Wade, quarterback keeper.
Well, if you've got a quarterback can run, that quarterback draw is a fantastic play. 3rd and long, UCF was only bringing in 3 rushers. They killed the nose guard there. Look at that. They're blocking the defensive ends back out and around, so there's only one man to stop them up front. The linebackers are covering, dropping off deep. Defensive backs are deep. He picks up a block from his running back. Cropper knew everything. He saw a good block. Well, if you've got a quarterback and run, that's a great play.
16-yard run for the quarterback, Dennis Wade. Owls have it on the Knights' 40-yard line. Wade, the pitch to Cropper. Gets outside, and he's tackled at around the 38. Byron Felder wrapped him up and dragged him down. If Felder didn't make that tackle, he was off for big yardage.
Well, that's the trouble with the option. There's 3 options. You can go to all 3 of those on any given play, and you've got to have a limited number of people covering those options, and that's Felder's job is to get that pitch. And if he doesn't, there's not many guys to help him out. Covington and Stewart and et cetera are coming around a little bit later.
2nd down and 6. Wade, handoff right up the middle, and stacked up is Cropper. McCall on the tackle. Maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd down and about 5.
That's another one of those quick hitters to the fullback. The UCF run that play a lot with Jordan, Belasis, etc.
Here's quarterback Dennis Wade for the Owls talking about his qualities.
I think I lead the best. I don't either run or throw. I think I run and throw just about the same, but my best asset as a quarterback is a leader. And that's what I think I do best.
3rd down and 6 on the 37. There's Wade. Handoff. Big yardage. 20, 20, 10, 5, touchdown.
Boy, that is the 3rd time that a draw has just worked incredibly well.
Ivan Cropper for the big run.
Well, Cropper, as we said, they're going to put the ball in his hands as much as they can. And once again, a draw, the pass is not working for him. So instead of passing it, they threat the pass, have all the receivers spread out and everything, one back in the backfield, and just hand that baby off. And Wade is doing a great job of handing it off and making it look like it's a pass. Defensive backs are covering man-to-man, so they don't turn around until they hear a ball called, like the ball's in the air. No one's saying it, so they got to stick on their man.
Florio with the extra point. Up and good. 2:03 left, first quarter. Southern Connecticut State University 7, UCF nothing. Let's take a timeout.
A lot of people think that cable television is just a wire, but at Cablevision in Central Florida, we know our business is also about people. When you visit our offices, you'll find courteous, capable employees to serve you quickly and efficiently. You'll find the same level of service when you call us. Polite, competent, quick, and effective. Cablevision in Central Florida knows that you expect good service, and we deliver.
And welcome back to the Florida Citrus Bowl. Orlando, John Anthony along with Neil Beasley. A stunned crowd right now after that 37-yard gallop by Ivan Cropper. And the Knights, I think you brought this up early, Neil. They got to score first because everything seems to fall into place when you get that first touchdown. And now here's the scoring drive. 11 plays, 80 yards, 5:04 off the clock, and that run by Cropper. He's dangerous, and they've been using the pass. They don't use the pass that much, but they set up the run all the time.
That's exactly right. They're setting up the draw. They're 3rd and long, and people are just pinning their ears back, and UCF thinking, all right, we've had a couple sacks. We can get another one on this play. They just go flying in there, and that quick hitter up the middle on that draw has been killing them.
They're into Florio, kickoff, and Beckton has it on the 11, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, down at the 38-yard line. Good return, Sean Beckton.
Was a good return. The wall there, there's 4 players that line up in front of them and make a wall. Did a good job of knocking some people off their feet for Southern Connecticut, and Beckton, of course, is keeping his eyes open there. You see the people in front of him, then they're just going to go down and hit people. Beckton's got to see where the hole is going to open up, hits it. Nice little return.
27-yard return, Sean Beckton. 1st and 10, Knights on the 39. And the Knights, offensively, we should mention they did not score in the second half against New Haven. We're running out of time in the first quarter here, so we're talking 3 quarters of scoreless football for the Knights, which is not characteristic of a Gene McDowell team.
Especially against that level of competition. Anyone in Division II, UCF has had very much success against. As we see the Southern Connecticut player down, we're not quite sure who that is yet.
Their jerseys the numbers are hard to spot on those jerseys with the sun hitting off them. And we're not going to speculate who's hurt. 7-0, Southern Connecticut State leading. 1:58 left in this quarter. Homecoming, 25th anniversary of UCF. So you would think everything would be on the Knights' side except the score right now.
Well, once again, that homecoming bug is getting us. For some reason, we just don't seem to play real well in homecoming. Maybe their mind is distracted throughout the week. There's so much good activities around the campus to go do and get involved in. It takes their mind off the football game.
Well, comedian Jerry Seinfeld was entertaining last night at UCF, and boy, that guy is a funny dude, no doubt about it. He can make people laugh. And now they're carrying the player off the field to the far side. And we get a report, it's Brian Vanderveen for the Owls. 1st and 10, UCF. Let's see what they can do in this drive. The pitch to Barnes. Following his blockers over the 40 and stumbles ahead to the 45-yard line. Picks up about 6 on the play. Kirk Gordon on the tackle.
Well, that's what UCF wants to do. Just give it to their big running backs and let the offensive line blow some holes for him. Actually, Gil outruns his lineman there. Maybe he slows up a little bit. He picks up some blocks and picks up some more yards.
Barnes had his best day as a night last week against New Haven, rushing for 129 yards. The pitch to Barnes again, this time running the other way. And this time he is hit and pushed back to around the 43. Bobby Gibson wrapped him up and would not let him go.
Bobby Gibson, you're probably going to be hearing his name a lot, 56. He's a big one. He's all New England first team, 6'2", 235 pounds. He's a senior, and he's a good one.
The Knights hit the road after this game at Valdosta State next Saturday, then back home to take on the former Division I AA champion, Georgia Southern Eagles. 3rd down and 4 on the 45. The pitch to Barnes again, a flag, and Barnes will not get any yardage.
He ran into his big right tackle, Alex Goforth, number 76. That gave Southern Connecticut a chance to come in and swarm him under, but there is a flag on the play.
Bobby Gibson on the tackle. We'll wait for the call from Don Carter. Offsides on the Owls.
Well, that hurts. That turns a 4th down into a 1st down.
It was a 3rd down play, 4 yards to go. Barnes got nothing on it. Here it is.
Oh, you see the lineman coming out and pulling. There's Perry Blasis, his fullback, picks up a block, tries to cut back inside of it. There's Goforth.
Get off play. Offside. Defense. 1st down.
Crowd likes that penalty on the Owls. 5-yard penalty, 1st down for the Knights.
Maybe it's the day game that UCF used to play in at night, but this day game atmosphere is killing them. I don't know. Homecoming.
You should know. You're an expert at it. Playing wide out. Punt return man for the Knights. First and 10 on the 49. The emblem, Pegasus, right at the 50-yard line. The pitch to Barnes. Barnes has room this time, found a hole, struggles ahead to about the 45-yard line, gets 4 on the play.
Who's in there again? Bobby Gibson, one of the men in there on that pile. He's going to be he's the middle linebacker. He's the quarterback of that defense. There's the play again. It looks like they're going to run this one to death. The UCF coaches are. And they feel like they can run it, so they're going to keep trying it.
Jonathan Mourning also helping out on the tackle. And that is the end of the first quarter. With the score, Southern Connecticut State University 7, UCF nothing. Let's take a timeout.
George's Hideaway, located just 1/2 mile north of Lee Road on...
And welcome back to the Florida Citrus Bowl Orlando. John Anthony, Neil Beasley, Knights football on Cablevision of Central Florida. The good news today is Baby Shamu is stalking the sideline, and we might have another great catch. I remember last week, Baby Shamu made a great catch.
Yeah, but he had one pin out of bounds, so it didn't count. And
the character now, not the real Baby Shamu, obviously. 2nd down and 4. And the Knights would really like to get something going to start this second quarter. They have been struggling. Now it's official. It's in the book. They have not scored any points for 3 straight quarters.
Well, that's just amazing. The coaches at UCF never would have dreamed about that against Division II opponents. I mean, these aren't, of course, slack opponents. They're, nothing chipper about them. But, boy, I tell you what, when we score some points on Eastern Kentucky, Georgia Southern, guys like that, we don't think we're going to have that kind of a problem against these teams.
And there's Shane breaking out of the huddle. Shane Willis the quarterback, the lefty from Lakeland. And I don't know what the holdup is because I would say TV timeout, but our timeout's over with.
That's right.
2nd and 4, we're ready to go. High formation behind Willis. And hands off. Wide open. Barnes first down, and he's tackled at the 35. Cusick put the hard hit on Gil Barnes, but not before he got that first down.
Oh, a nice job by the offensive line from UCF. Just gave him that little seam, and he hits it. There you see a couple of the blocks. 75, Sean Stickler in there making one of it, and Gil Barnes sees that hole, just rips right through it.
Now, Gil's run the ball quite a bit early, and the Knights must be seeing a weakness in the Owls' defense. 1st and 10 on the 35. Little screen play set up, and Jefferson struggles ahead to around the 26-yard line. Pick up a 9 on the play. Player on the tackle. And there he is, Sean Jefferson, the freshman from Jacksonville.
Got up a little slow. He got smacked around on that play. And he's going to come off and take a breather. Well, we see this play all the time. They just flick it out to these great wide receivers and let him run. Once again, they don't quite use his blockers as well as he could have, but he's a young kid, and he'll learn that those guys in the big black jerseys are his friends, and he's going to run behind him a little bit. Still picks up a good yard.
2nd down and 1 on the 26. Now Willis with 2 seconds left on the 25-second clock. Just gets it off. And he's throwing far side, incomplete, intended receiver, Beckton around the 18.
Well, there is a flag on the play, but it's an awful late flag. I mean, if the clock got him, that was a real late flag. It could be something else.
Shane was pointing to the Owl defense.
What may have happened, the receivers on the... Yeah, that's what they're going to call. I believe that when he called the audible, the receivers came inside to line up because they knew they were going to have to run down and outs, and they did not get set for a full second before he snapped the football. But Shane knew he had to snap the football because the clock was going down.
5-yard penalty on the Knights. So from a 2nd and 1, it'll be a 2nd and 6 now. Here's Don Carter.
We have motion. Offense. 2nd down.
Only scoring in the first quarter, Ivan Cropper, 37-yard gallop. 7-0 Owls early 2nd quarter.
We're having trouble with those Connecticut teams.
Willis cut Jordan up the middle. And he stacked up and pushed backwards. Got to the 29, maybe picked up 2 on the play. Reggie Player pushed him back. Player has 4 interceptions this season, and you said, what, he had 3 of them last week?
He had 3 last week. Yes, at the bottom of the statistical pile there. There's the handout. There's that quick hitter we talked about. Boy, I tell you what, Bobby Gibson, the middle linebacker, 56, came flying up to make that stop. He was sitting right there just waiting for Jordan.
3rd down and 4. Give John Jordan 2 yards on that last run attempt. Football on the 29. Willis getting some heat, and he throws it, bounces around incomplete. Intended receiver Osborne around the 25-yard line, but Willis was getting the heat from behind.
Steven Stearns, the right end, very versatile kid. Started out as a linebacker, switched to a nose guard, now he's playing defensive end. There he just came flying around the block. Willis has the presence of mind to, as he's going down, just flip it out somewhere. Kind of a dangerous pass, but falls out of harm's way, but now it's a 4th down. They're going for it.
There's Jim McDowell in the Knights blazer, the yellow blazer. They're going to go for it. 4th down and 4. Football on the 29. The crowd starts to buzz. Willis pump fakes, now going long, and it's going to be almost intercepted around the 10-yard line. And that was Player almost getting his 5th interception, incomplete, and the Owls take over.
Well, that was well played by the secondary out there. Player actually should have had that interception, but I guess it was 4th down. You don't want it unless you think you can get more yards than where the line of scrimmage is. It looked like he wanted it, but just dropped it. But the safety was sitting back there. He read it all the way. It was down out towards the sidelines, and Shane Willis pump faked him, and the receiver turned back down to try and hit the touchdown, but that safety was right there, Player.
The Owls take over on their own 29-yard line, leading 7-0, and this is turning out to be maybe an upset. The handoff and slipping down at the 28-yard line
Ball carrier number 38, Carl Nick.
Was Newton. Lost his footing and lost a couple on the play.
Yeah, he wasn't real sure where he wanted to go, and then I think he cut off his wrong foot. He's the man in motion up there. Kind of fake it to the fullback, handing around. Tries to cut up inside, just loses the grip. Must have the old cleats.
The old cleats, yeah, the AstroTurf shoes on. 2nd and 11, he lost one on that play. Good shot of the quarterback, Dennis Wade. And it's going to be the draw play to Newton. Newton struggles ahead over the 30 to about the 34-yard line. Maybe picked up 6. Joe Simmons wrapped him up.
Tell you what else that draw play is going to do. Every time the Owls go back to pass, those defensive linemen, instead of just rushing all out for the quarterback, are going to have to keep that in the back of their mind. Hey, they burned us with this. We're going to have to look for it. And it's going to slow up their rush a little bit. Maybe give them more time with the pass.
3rd down on the 32. They need 7. 7 yards. Wade hit from behind, and that's Spears with the quarterback sack. And look at Steve. He does his old Mark Gastineau imitation.
Steve loves this game of football. You can tell every time. Makes an interception, makes a sack. He's up doing the dance. He's just loving life. Comes around, just whips his man from the top of the screen. See number 99. Actually, he's kind of got 2 guys on him there. Just for a second. Just beats that big tackle, left tackle out there and makes a sack.
Chris Smith punting, sets up on his own 7-yard line. Beckton is back to receive. There's Sean. And here they come. High snap. Smith is going to have to keep it. Up, he gets it off. A good punt. Out of bounds at around the 32-yard line. Boy, I'll tell you, the guy was in trouble. There's Gene McDowell. Can't believe he got that punt off.
Yeah, there's no flag on the play either, and there should be. There were some linemen downfield. You can't leave until that ball is punted. And a lot of times when you see the punter pull the ball down and run around, the linemen don't know it. They're not looking back. They're just kind of counting a couple, 3 seconds, waiting, and then take off downfield. And there was quite a few linemen downfield before he punted that football, but no flag.
That was a 38-yard punt while he was running. Chris Smith, he'll take that any day. 1st and 10 on the 41.
With the spread.
Or check that, 39. And wide open and in and out of the hands of Chantel Roundtree, who was looking to run before he caught it.
Chantel was so wide open, and he knew it. Because right before he looked back at the quarterback, he looked around him, and there was no defensive back anywhere in sight. And he just was saying, hey, how much yards can I get here? And he forgot one thing. There you see him down the bottom screen. He just knew there was nobody up there, and watch his head. Just at the last second turn.
Back to the action. This one complete to Roundtree. Roundtree struggles ahead, may have the 1st down, so he makes amends after dropping an easy pass. Matt Morrow on the tackle.
Same play. Different result this time. I tell you, anytime you drop that pass, a good receiver just goes back to the huddle and says, hey, give me that thing one more time. I'll show you what I can do. And he does. Dances around. Doesn't have a whole lot of weight behind him, but still pushes up close to that 1st down.
He was smelling that 1st down stick, and I think he got the 1st down.
Now Southern Connecticut, I think, is going to call a timeout.
Willis takes the time now to go to the near side. 7-0. Southern Connecticut State University leading in this football game. Defensive coach for the Owls, Mike Dodge, gives his impressions on the UCF offense. Here it is.
Best thing they do is their passing game, and they got a real good quarterback. They got some fine receivers, and I think if we can do something versus that, then we got a pretty good shot tomorrow.
Homecoming, 25th anniversary at UCF. Jerry Seinfeld performed last night. We got to get a win here. A couple of young Knight fans looking on, hoping they can get on the scoreboard finally.
Yeah, they don't look too happy right now, do they?
No, they do not. It's funny when you don't score a point, how hard it is to get that point and break that, the scoreless streak. You can score so many points during the season, which they've done. They're averaging over 28 points a game, but now they go in this little skid, 3 quarters without a score. And how tough is it to get into the end zone?
Well, when you go long enough just to someone to say, hey, you haven't scored in this many periods, then you start thinking about it, and that's what makes it harder.
Well, it's 1st down and 10, though, right on the 50-yard line. 10:45 before halftime, and the Owls leading 7-0. Willis in the shotgun. 5 receivers set out on the play, and Willis drops back, looks, still looks, throws, and Beckton wide open, makes the catch at the 22-yard line. Reggie Player tried to slap the ball out of Beckton's hand, but could not do it. 1st down, Knights.
Shane Willis has such good touch on his passes. Of course, it's the offensive line that gives him the time to throw this football. Look at that, he's got all kinds of time. It's a nice little feather pass. Oh, those are so nice to catch. They don't hurt your hands, they just come nice and easy right where they have to be.
Looked like Neil Beasley on that play. How many catches did you have at UCF?
Probably about, let's see, 400, 500.
How about 4, 5,
yeah,
6?
that sounds more like it.
You're still in the record book, though. Willis, back to pass, looks, throws, wide open, back to over the 15, and he's submarined down at the 13-yard line by McClin. He's about maybe a yard short of that first down.
That is a tough pass to catch because you're coming over the middle and you know that there's some big linebackers sitting there waiting for you, and you've got to concentrate on this football. And then he does a good thing. Instead of trying to sprint out to the sidelines, he just ducks it up and gets what he can get. A lot of times you go back trying to get around him and you lose some yardage.
2nd down and 2. Willis throws in and out of the hands of Roundtree around the 8-yard line. It'll be a 3rd down 2 play.
It looked like defensive back Jonathan Mooring, actually a linebacker, may have gotten a hand on it. Kind of shifted the angle on it, made it a tough catch, but it looked like it hit him near the chest. But maybe, when you get a hand on it that close to you, it's tough to catch.
3rd down 2. No huddle offense. Good shot of Willis. And Willis is going to keep it. And he struggles ahead to about the 12-yard line. Tackling him around the shoe tops, David Hill. So it's a 4th down play.
Well, David Hill got his fingernail caught in Shane Willis's jersey and showed his strength there and dragged him down. And 4th down, that's the same play that Southern Connecticut used, quarterback draw. It worked well for them, but not for UCF.
4th down and 1. Willis keeps it again, gets the first down, stumbles ahead to the 10-yard line. 1st and 10 Knights.
And he got popped. I don't think they want to run that play very often. Of course,
Bobby Gibson popped them.
When you are in the spread, you have no running back, so Shane becomes the only one. But, boy, when you got a quarterback like Shane Willis, you do not want to run that play often because he's going to get popped and he's going to be feeling it.
I do believe I saw Derek Connor in there at tackle, the 6'3", 270-pound freshman from Miami. He's in for the homecoming king, David Underwood.
Here's the play again. Watch this. Pretty good blocking. He's just looking for a hole. Ducks down actually underneath the hit. And I think his own man may have popped him going over Willis to make the hit. Reggie Plyer, maybe 49, was the other guy on that hit. Shook up his own man.
And he's up and leaving, and that is Peter Cusick, the 5'10", 190-pound junior linebacker.
Hi, horse.
There's the horse, Mr. Ed.
Wilbur. Sorry.
Good try, Neil. Keep it up, though. You need practice. 1st and 10 on the 10. They can get a first down. Willis has lots of time. Throws, complete. Spencer, touchdown, UCF. I see a flag down and doesn't look good for the Knights. Let's see.
Southern Connecticut is pointing that it's against the Knights.
Spencer made a nice catch, turned, and got into the end zone, but there's a penalty on the play.
Holding. Spencer just came across. Shane Willis waited for him to open up, and he did. Popped him. There he's waiting for him. He's just coming across the middle of the field. He started on the left, catches it there on the right. Shakes off a nice tackle for the touchdown, but all for naught.
Holding. Offense. First down.
Holding penalty costly for the Knights. And how many times have you seen a touchdown called back because of a holding penalty?
Quite a few, and of course at UCF now, remember, that's the one thing, the penalties, not only does it negate a decent play, it negates a touchdown.
Now they're on the 20. 1st and 20. Willis looking one side, looking the other side. Now he's rolling, and he's going to keep it. 20, 15, 10, out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. A 13-yard run for Shane Willis. Matt Morrow pushed him out of bounds.
Shane Willis is showing Dennis Wade, the other quarterback, that he can run too. Hey, I'm not afraid. I'll run up the middle, run around the outside.
2nd down, about 7.5. Willis calls him back into the huddle. We mentioned Shane, 35 for 51 passes, 365 yards against New Haven.
They're going with the backs now instead of the spread.
High formation. The pitch to Barnes. Runs up the middle over the 5. Another flag down. He's down at the 4. Looked like Cusick and Mourning on the tackle.
Southern Connecticut is doing a nice job of stopping up the run from UCF. They know they're just going to pitch sweep.
There's Gil Barnes.
And another penalty against UCF. Offsides.
Could be a legal procedure on the Knights. Waiting for the call from the referee, Don Carter. And there's Gill, holding a hamstring, it looked like, for a minute.
Have an illegal formation. Offense. Decline. Third down.
Usually what happens on that, one of the linemen, tight end or somebody, his head is just not, hands and head are just not quite up equal with everyone else. You have to be up above with their hips and everything. Maybe he was just lined up a little bit too far in the backfield.
8:13 left before halftime, and it's Southern Connecticut State University 7, UCF nothing.
Is going to have to call a timeout. The clock is running. They don't have the play yet in the huddle. They're just really out of sync.
And now Gene McDowell, we can see Gene near side. Don Carter, the referee, talking with one of the line judges, side judges, and let's see what the call is here. You were right. No time left on the 25-second clock. I don't know if UCF called a timeout.
Well, I think now what they're saying, the referees had not set the ball back into play yet, but the clock started to run.
Gene McDowell talking with the officials. You're right, they reset that 25-second clock, so it is 3rd down and 4.
Will be counted on the sideline.
They having trouble with that 25-second clock? Here we go. Willis, rolling left, throws left. Barnes has it, and the ball is loose and around the 4-yard line. And it looks like Reggie Blair has the recovery.
Wow. Southern Connecticut is having an excellent defensive football game. They gave up the pass. It wasn't enough for a touchdown, and they all came in and started beating on him. And I think the second or third guy to hit him forces the ball loose. Here it is again. Gill makes the catch, tries to cut it back now against the grain. There, it just strips the football. Boy, what a great football play. Reggie Flyer getting the interceptions now, fumble recovery, strips it himself and recovers it.
You know, in that kind of an instance, you know, Gill was struggling for more yardage. And sometimes when you struggle, that ball is just out there waiting to be taken. That's what happens.
Good point. Sure is.
And 1st and 10. Let's see what happened here. More whistles.
Well, the clock does say 0, but I thought they said they were going to keep the clock on the sideline and not.
They are having trouble with the clock. You see some of the crowd here at the Florida Citrus Bowl. We mentioned at the outset of the broadcast we need about 13,000 to reach 100,000 in home attendance. Here's Don Carter.
Good ball. Delay a game. Offense. 1st down.
Half the distance to the goal line. So now they're on the 2-yard line.
The clocks are running in each end zone, so the quarterback can see that.
But the game clock is not moving. Maybe that's the problem. Hand up the middle, and there's some room. Proper over the 5 to about the 7-yard line.
And you don't realize what a big play that is. Even if they just have to punt, now the punter has his total 15 yards to go back and punt the ball, but that gives him, if you're punting from the 1-yard line, that's only 11 yards. The defensive guys have to come in and block that thing.
Brian Hessinger on that last tackle. 2nd down and 6 on the 8. And struggling ahead is Newton, and Newton is pushed back. He might have been lucky to get to the line of scrimmage. Spitulski at the bottom of the pile, Wyatt Bogan, and I also see Robert Lindsay.
And they're giving him up close to around the 10.
Yep, he did get to the 10, so he picks up 1 or 2 on the play.
They're just going to keep it simple. Oh, Wyatt Bogan. They brought somebody out there to try and block him, and he just nailed the guy trying to block him. I guess that was number 51, Greg Scapizzi, and then made the tackle. Wyatt Bogan, excellent football player.
3rd and 5. The crowd vibrating the Florida Citrus Bowl with noise. Handoff will not get the 1st down. Piled up there. Parnell McCall makes the hit.
He picked up some good yards, though. He came close.
Getting up was Cropper, and they're going to be about a yard short of that 1st down.
Now they're bringing in the sticks. They're going to measure.
An official timeout. They look like a yard short from our vantage point. 7-11 before halftime. I don't know if that clock is official now, the game clock. They do bring in the first down sticks. And if my estimate is correct, they're about a yard short. And they are. So here's a big play for the night special teams. Chris Smith will be punting in his own end zone.
He's got a little breeze behind him.
And the wind is kind of, you're right, the wind is to his back.
Now, it wasn't that way before the game. It was blowing across the field, but it has shifted now, and it is at his back. He's a good punter. We watched him in warm-ups.
Smith is averaging around 40 yards a punt today. He's in the end zone, 10 men at the line of scrimmage for the Knights. They'll be coming after him. There's the snap. There they come. And Smith gets it off. Bounces on the 40-yard line. Beckton will let it roll.
Oh, he needed
over
to pick that thing up.
25, and it's down at the 20-yard line.
Sean Beckton really misplayed that ball. He had all kinds of room. There wasn't a guy within 20 yards of him.
Is that a 71-yard punt?
He picks that thing up. He can run it at least to the 40-yard line. Now it's back at the 20. And Sean is a better returner than that. He knows better than to do that. But I tell you, when things are going wrong, everything seems to go wrong. They're not getting the points. They have a touchdown called back. They go for it on fourth down.
Chris Smith might be the MVP of this game right now. A 71-yard punt. Willis throws. Osborne had it and dropped it incomplete. At the 25-yard line, Jonathan Mourning really popped Osborne on the play.
Good morning, John Osborne. Actually, Shane Willis kind of threw it a little bit late and set him up, set his receiver up. You see him coming around the bottom of your screen. He's thinking, now I want to go deeper. Now, okay, I'll go short. Osborne has no way of knowing that guy guy's there.
Second down, 10. Willis throws and through the hands and arms of Chantel Roundtree at around the 21-yard line. Third down and 10.
Well, I tell you what, this offense, they really look disorganized, and that is not something usual you see of this football team. I'll tell you what.
Third and 10. Willis has time and cannot get away, and he's down at the 13-yard line. David Hill got his jersey and spun him down. And Southern Connecticut State University is playing some great football here against the Knights, and they are smelling an upset.
They sure are, and David Hill didn't get in there real quick, but Shane just couldn't find anybody open. Hill just persistence, it paid off, got the sack.
Punting on his own 1-yard line is key. He's punting against the wind. Ball bounces around the 40-yard line, and it's down
that hit
at the 39. The ball is loose. Let's see who has it.
That should be UCF's football. It hit a player in the back from Southern Connecticut State. They're giving it to UCF. See him there, Dan
got
Quayle.
the ball. Robert Lindsay. Look what I found. The ball bounced right up in his hands. That could be a great break for the Knights.
Yeah, that hit a player for Southern Connecticut. Now they say they're giving it back to Southern Connecticut. Well, it's before that down in the truck. It's before that the ball hit the player for Southern Connecticut State. Maybe we can back that up and see it again.
And now Don Carter signals it's UCF's ball. Did it hit Lindsay's helmet? It was a real strange play.
No, it hit the helmet for Southern Connecticut State. And anytime it touches the offensive or receiving team's man, that defense can pump on it.
The Knights have it. Could be a big break. 5:59 before halftime. They trail 7-0. Willis back, looks, throws, complete to Beckton. And he's down at the 41-yard line. Matt Morrow wrapped him up. First down, though, for the Knights.
Good. Throws this thing with a lot of authority. Look at all the zip on that football. Just a little curl pattern. You're curling up back of the linebackers in front of the secondary.
Willis again throws incomplete to Spencer at the 40, down at the 39-yard line. Jonathan Mourning tackled him. A strange play could really set the UCF Knights offense here because the ball hits an owl helmet. Lindsay has it. Didn't even realize they had the ball.
Yeah, he just grabbed it to try and down it, I think. He didn't realize it was their football. And it's really not the man's helmet that it is, or the man's fault that it hit his helmet. He was just doing his job blocking.
Second down, 7. Willis Complete to Coltrane at the 31-yard line. First down again for the Knights. Cusick on the tackle. Teddy gets his catch and runs back off.
All UCF is doing is sending some receivers deep. His other receivers are coming short up underneath those other receivers, and Willis is hitting them for the first down.
Now the Owls call a timeout.
That's their second one.
5:57 left. Score. Owls 7, Knights nothing. Let's take a timeout. Welcome back to the Florida Citrus Bowl Orlando. John Anthony along with Neil Beasley, homecoming for the Knights. And you're watching it live on Cablevision of Central Florida. Coming up at halftime, Manny Messinger will interview head coach Gene McDowell, the $1,000 winner. I do believe, yep, they're going to be drawing for the car today. UCF Marching Band, of course, Neil has his award-winning interview, and lots more. First half stats, you name it. Knights did call the timeout, and we're trying to, Neil and I were talking while we were during a break, it was such a strange play. It hit an Owl helmet. Lindsey had it. Ball bounced into his hand. He didn't know what to do with it. He thought he downed it.
Yeah, he just thought he was down in the football.
First and 10 on the 31. Back to the action. Willis throws far side, complete to Roundtree. Roundtree makes a move, 25, down at the 19-yard line. Some nifty running after he caught it by Roundtree. Richard Kavickas made the tackle.
Chantel Roundtree, 5'10", 175. He's just a freshman. He's just sitting over there in the flats all by himself. Nice picture. Does some good cutting back. Then he sees a big lineman coming up from behind him to get him. He just takes it upfield.
First and 10 on the 19. Quick drop. Willis. Ball is slapped down at the line of scrimmage, incomplete.
That's Stearns, 35. 34, DiGioia.
DeGioia, Pete DeGioia from Wallingford, Connecticut, got a big hand up and slapped it down.
He's a big kid. Plus, he's a good athlete, football player and a baseball player in high school. Showed some jumping ability to paw that baby down.
Second and 10 on the 19. Willis. Running for his life over the 20, 15, 10. Down at the 9-yard line. Close to another first down. Shane Willis showing his scrambling ability. Bobby Gibson finally made the tackle.
Shane Willis is probably the leading rusher on the team right now for this game. I don't know. He's going to give Gil Barnes a good run for his money anyway.
We saw his passing stats, 6'4", 14, 91 yards. 5:20 before halftime, and now they're going to have a measurement. There you see it right there. The banner, the billboard, 25 years. Neil was here for every year, right?
I'm still only a junior.
Still a junior. 25 years from 63 to 88, I'm telling you. Boy, has this university grown over the years. And it's still getting bigger. That was a first down after they brought out the first down sticks. So it's goal to goal.
And they're staying with their spread offense, no running backs.
Willis, quick drop, throws. What a catch by Spencer! Touchdown, UCF! Arnell Spencer had to really reach for that football, made the catch, and then fell into the end zone. Look at the crowd.
Well, all that 3 quarters and all that 1 half of football, all that frustrating football, missing things, missing assignments, dropping passes, all just gets washed away with a touchdown here. Now it's tied up, well, with the extra point, and they're back in it. There you'll see the nice catch you were talking about. He's got to go up with this one. He's got good hands, you know that. He's the holder for the extra point and field goals, and you know he's got nice soft hands.
And Spencer's doing the holding for the extra point. Blake Holton to attempt it. This will tie the game up. The snap, the set, the kick gets up in the air, and it is good. 5:08 before halftime. The score now, UCF 7, Southern Connecticut State University 7. Let's take a break.
A unique challenge has been issued to supporters of UCF athletics. Many companies and individuals have already pledged contributions based upon the number of victories by Coach G. McDowell and the UCF football team this season.
You can become part of this exciting challenge and show your confidence in the UCF athletic program by pledging your support in any amount to the UCF Fighting Knights.
Call the UCF athletic office at 275-2086. Take the coach's challenge and win with the UCF Fighting Knights in 1988. Come see us.
Back to the Florida Citrus Bowl, Orlando. John Anthony, Neil Beasley. Knights football on Cablevision of Central Florida. There you get a nice shot of Blake Holton, who got that extra point. 7-7. Kurt Aiken will kick off. And back to receive will be Jason Hawes and John Kennedy. There you got a good shot of the field and some of the crowd. We said about 13,000. I'm leaning toward more than 15, Neil.
Yeah, I think it, like we said, the late arrivers. And they're happy to be here now. Team is back in it.
There they are. Look at the crowd. They know they're on camera. Everybody's a star for 15 minutes, according to Andy Warhol. Beautiful sunny day in Orlando. And the kickoffs always bring out the best in the crowd. They love to get into it. There's the kick. A short kick taken by one of the upbacks. He calls a fair catch at the 31-yard line. The Owls will have it first and 10 on the 31.
We've seen that kickoff before. Kurt Aiken will just kind of pop it up, not real deep, but not real short, and give one of those guys that's not used to handling the football. Maybe they'll drop that thing. We can get a quick turnover, maybe another quick score.
John Peruso made the fair catch. First and 10 on the 32. The handoff over the 35 to the 36-yard line. That is Giovanni Daniels with the run.
Now what the defense wants to do is 1-2-3 punt. Get the Owls defense, which has been on the field for a long time, especially with that long touchdown drive, get them back up on the field so they're tired. Get their offense will be out of sync to the Owls offense if they can only go in 1-2-3 punt.
If you're keeping score at home, Darrell Ivory got the tackle. 2nd and 6. Trouble, screen pass, and there's room over the 40. There's a flag down at the 43-yard line. Spears made the tackle proper with the catch and run.
Well, there's flags everywhere, but I tell you what, Ivan Cropper, between the draws and the screens,
he's dangerous.
His blocking, he can do everything. There you see him, he's just slipping out of the backfield. Quarterback's taking a real deep drop. The linemen go follow him, defensive linemen. And somewhere in there, I think, was an illegal block.
Penalty on the Owls. Keith Evans talking it over with head referee Don Carter. They'll take the penalty, and here's the call.
Clipping. Offense. 2nd down.
Costly penalty because I do believe Cropper had the first down.
Yeah, you see that a lot on screens, though, just because their people are spread out all over the field. Quarterback takes a real deep drop. The receivers are going deep. The defensive backs are deep. Everyone's spread out. And you get some weird blocking angles.
2nd down. 19. The football on the 23-yard line. Wade will keep it, and he's hit from behind and tackled at the 22-yard line.
Parnell McCall coming in there for Steve Spears, giving him a spell.
Watch McCall come from behind here to make the tackle.
Well, I'm not sure if this is a quarterback draw from the beginning or if he really did want to throw the ball and then saw the defensive line was coming in too fast. Usually when it's a quarterback draw, the quarterback does not drop that deep. It was a very deep drop that time.
Big play here, 3rd down and 20 on the 22. Wade looks, throws, and did he catch the football at the 42? Yeah, he did. What a catch.
Well, that's a super catch, but that's not a first down, unfortunately.
Making the catch was Kevin Moses, and he wrestled it away from Jimmy Roberts, I do believe.
Kevin Moses coming in at the split end for Chris Smith. Watch this catch. Boy, he just comes back, jumps right over. Is that Roberts?
Yeah, Jimmy never did have it. Good coverage on Roberts. By Roberts. Punting situation, Smith will punt it. He's been doing well with the wind to his back. He sets up on his own 26-yard line. And Keith Evans is on his own 20. Smith, line drive, punt, backs Evans up. He lets it bounce at the 10-yard line. It's going to be down right at the 6. Boy, this Smith with his punts, he's been really the MVP of the Owls team right now.
Once again, that was a little misplayed by Keith Evans, although you're told don't go inside the 10 to field a punt.
Motion.
Boy, they got lucky. They got lucky, UCF did. That ball landed just inside. Looked like he hesitated just for a moment. Should I catch it or shouldn't I? And it cost him. The ball went down and stopped on the 6-yard line. But this penalty, bring it back, make him do it over here.
Chris Smith, that was a 53-yard punt. His last 2 punts, he's averaged 62 yards.
Offense. Fourth down.
Well, he's getting a little help from, I think, the wind and also the roll and some bad decisions by the UCF punt returner.
The penalty on the Owls, very costly because they had the Knights deep in their own territory. There's Evans. He's setting up now on the 24. Smith. High punt. Evans takes it on his 23. Slips through 2 tacklers. Slips through 3 tacklers. 30, and he's out of bounds at the 31, and there's a flag.
Yeah, they're going to get a clip on UCF. I think Kirk Wiley, number 51 out there, made an illegal block.
Watch the moves Evans puts on here.
Evans does a nice job. Look at that.
2, 3.
I think his dancing classes are paying off here. And that may have been it. That was not Kirk Wiley, number 51. That was number 61, Joe Simmons. But
First and 10 on the 31.
That negates a nifty little run by Keith. You know, he broke something like 15 punt returns for touchdowns in high school.
Wow.
Something amazing like that. So, you know he can do it.
Clipping. On the receiving team. Run back. First down.
But now, even with that penalty, they're still 10 yards ahead of where they were on the first punt. It landed back at the 6. Now they're up about the 16.
The Knights have it first and 10. There's G. McDowell and that Knights blazer. The Canary blazer, we should say. Willis throws complete to Roundtree right at the 19-yard line. And he's hit hard and knocked back. Jonathan Mourning didn't put a simple tackle on Roundtree. You wanted to hurt him on that play. Watch it. He lifts him up.
It's a simple little curl route. Doesn't pick up a whole lot of yards. They're hoping they can hit the pass and then he can get some yardage. And here you see it. Boom. Nice takedown.
Good wrestler. Good wrestle move. Pass is complete to Roundtree. Falls out of bounds at around the 23-yard line. Mourning again. This time fell on top of him. He's about 2 yards short of that first down. Roundtree, a busy guy here in the second quarter.
Even though Roundtree's only a freshman, he's picking up some valuable experience.
Third down and 2 on the 24, that is. Willis throws. Caught by Grayson. Grayson, 32-yard line. First down, Knights. Second and third effort. Don Grayson got him the first down.
Hey, go for it. Go for it.
Gibson and McGlynn on the tackle. Timeout, I do believe, for the Knights.
Donnie Grayson lined up on this side, ran towards the middle of the field like he was going to run over across the field. Then he just stopped, turned around, came back towards this side. He was open. Willis saw it and hit him. And then, of course, Donnie, big and powerful enough to power his way for first down and more.
2:03 left before halftime. We're tied 7-7. Ivan Cropper, 37-yard run for the Owls in the first quarter. And Shane Willis's 90-yard touchdown pass to Darnell Spencer in the second quarter. That's all the scoring in this football game.
Boy, and who would have thunk it, huh?
You know, the Owls are almost on their average. They average only about 10 points a game. But for the Knights, way below their average.
SAE? Well, that's a big banner, isn't it?
Did you belong to a frat? They threw you out, right?
They threw me out.
You couldn't get in. First and 10 on the 33. 5 receivers set out on the play. Willis looking, throws, complete to Becton. 35, good move, but he's down at the 37-yard line, picks up 4 on the play. Gibson again on the tackle, along with Steven Stearns.
Well, with all those receivers, Willis has got to find somebody open. That's what he figures, and he stepped up in the pocket to buy him some more time.
Willis throws, Roundtree, and Roundtree can't get out of bounds at around the 43-yard line.
He does not get out of bounds. Well, actually, they're calling it. Stop the clock. But the clock will stop when you get a first down just to move the chains in college. So it'll stop momentarily, let UCF set up.
Cusick on the tackle. First and 10, a minute 33 before halftime. Manny Messinger will interview Knights head coach Gene McDowell at half. Willis. Some pressure, and he's down at the 35-yard line, getting the sack. DeGioia. Pete DeGioia with a very timely quarterback sack. Clock is still running. Run 14. There it is again, DeGioia wrapping up Willis.
Well, he's just beaten Derek Connor, the freshman left tackle over there, playing right tackle now.
Willis's pass intended for Roundtree out of bounds, incomplete. Stops the clock with 1:02 left. The Knights no huddle. They set up again.
3rd and long.
Willis, quarterback snake, and tackled at the 37-yard line, wrapping him up, Steven Stearns.
And that play does him absolutely no good. Now it's still 4th and forever. The clock is going to continue to run.
About 6 yards short of the first down.
It looks like they're going to go for it. They're lined up for it. 4th and what, about 16?
4th and about 6 yards to go, and now the punting team comes up. Very key. Key, high snap, makes a great catch, and now gets the punt off. Bounces at the 15, rolls all the way down. Lindsey downs it at around the 6-yard line. Robert Lindsey, good hustle, runs all the way down to down it. And the Owls have it with 15 seconds left on their own 6-yard line.
Boy, we've talked about maybe that snap with Doug Cox out with a broken wrist might be a problem. It bounced a couple times back to Key. That time it was really high. Britt Williams, I believe, still is in there, number 53, snapping.
The wind has changed here now. It's a cross breeze. Hey, there it is. All right. Neil Beasley's good buddy.
The Night Monster. What is that?
The official Neil Beasley mascot. Anyway. That was a 59-yard punt, by the way, by Barry Key. I think that's a Nightmare mascot.
Is that what that is?
I guess. Wade will just fall on it here to run out the clock right at the 5-yard line.
Well, UCF, I think, had too many men on the field. Spitolski came running off the field at the last second, didn't quite get off before the ball was snapped. So that'll, I think, help Southern out a little bit.
I would have never thought a 7-7 game at halftime here. We were talking about numbers and looking at all that, but as again, the Dodgers proved it against the Mets. Numbers don't mean anything.
That's true.
It's emotion. Right now, Southern Connecticut State University playing with a lot of emotion in this first half.
Illegal substitution. Defense. First down.
Timeout. Defense.
A lot of confusion here with 13 seconds remaining before halftime. 7-7. We brought it up once, we'll bring it up again. The Owls have the longest losing streak in Division II this season, 14 in a row, carrying back from last season. The Knights, probably their one-game losing streak feels like it's been eternity. They wanted to get that week over with. They have, and now they're struggling with the Owls.
Yeah, this would be an upset. That's an understatement.
How do you think the New Haven win was an upset, though? New Haven's a good football team. They were in the top 20 at one point.
They have a good football program every year. They're always battling. And they just played a whale of a football game. UCF was probably a little flat and definitely looked flat. A little disorganized here today.
A lot of activities coming up at halftime for the homecoming festivities. We'll see the homecoming king and queen. Driver on the field. Now Wade will keep it again. Whistles with 10 seconds left.
Southern Connecticut bounce the ball.
I'm just wondering why they are stopping the clock. Unless the Knights feel they have one chance left.
In the stands or on that yellow?
Well, they do have 2 timeouts left. They want to try and get the football back and maybe try for a Hail Mary or something before the end of the half.
They can block the punt. There's Shane Willis sitting dejectedly on the bench. Been a tough half. Really hard to gauge because both teams are playing well in some areas and not so well in other areas.
Shane probably has a good pass percentage today on the afternoon, but they're not putting the football in the end zone.
They've not seen Angel Macy yet. There's Gene McDowell, head coach of the Knights. The Knights have one more home game after this one, and that is against Georgia Southern. They have 3 road games remaining, and that's going to tell the story for a playoff picture for the Knights.
Yeah, that's a tough road schedule they've got, too.
Wade downs it again. 5 seconds left. This time they're going to let the clock run out. And that is going to be the end of the first half with the score, UCF 7, Southern Connecticut State University 7.
Listen to the crowd. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. Some are cheering and some are kind of booing, and they don't know what to do. They're 7-7 against Southern Connecticut on homecoming. They don't want another homecoming loss.
Let's go down to Manny Missinger, my good buddy with the head coach of the Knights, Gene McDowell. Manny?
Coach McDowell, here we are. It's against the Owls, and yet it's 7-7, but we got a lot of football left. What have you asked us yet about the game?
It looks like their defense is playing a lot better than our offense. I thought there for a minute that we were going to go a full football game without scoring a point offensively with 5 minutes left. They had the football. Fortunately, they touched the ball on the punt. We ended up getting it and going down and scoring a touchdown. Offensively, we're just very lackluster out there. Defensively, we're playing okay. We gave up a touchdown. It's very hard for the defense to come back series after series when the offense doesn't generate anything on the scoreboard.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Coach, that maybe a lot of people don't know about. They talked about the winning loss record of these Owls. But one thing that nobody said is they've been averaging, only allowing 81 yards per game to the opposition. And yet we're doing 291, and it looks like, true to their form, they're holding us back.
Well, they're real big in the line of scrimmage, as you can see, offense and defense. The thing that they don't have is a major league offensive threat. If they did, we'd be in for a big, long day today.
Now, we've lost 2 key players. Toy French, he's got a bad ankle. And, of course, we got Alex Goldforth. He's been throwing up on the sideline. And we also have another man, Sean Jefferson, which has got problem with his ribs. Do you plan on making any changes in the second half to maybe compensate for this?
No, we'll put their substitute in the game and keep doing what we're doing. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more enthusiasm with our offense in the second half. I'm sick about the way we're playing with our offense. It's 2 straight weeks, and we're going to have to play a lot better than that. We're looking at not having a very good season this year.
All right, Coach, is there any changes you might make in the second half, let's say in personnel, starting positions or anything, that we should look forward to?
Not except for the replacement of the injuries. If Goforth can't play, then we'll play somebody in his place. Swift will start the second half if he can't play. Jefferson's not a starter anyway, so there wouldn't be any change there. I don't anticipate any change. If French can't play, then Stickler will play in his place. Either Stickler or Lapley.
All right, sir. So, in other words, we're ready to set. It's just a matter of you getting up there and fine-tuning this offensive, you might say, offensive team in order to score some points.
I just don't think we're aggressive enough. We're playing too tentative.
In other words, you might think that the intensity level's down?
It appears that way to me. It looks to me like we're very passive and not very aggressive out there, especially with our offense.
Well, Coach, I'll let you go in the locker room and talk to your team and your coaches and maybe bring that intensity level up for the fourth quarter.
Well, let's hope so.
All right, thank you, Coach. You've heard it all from Coach McDowell. Back to you, John.
Okay, Manny, thank you very much with head coach Gene McDowell, and he said it. They are not playing with enough intensity, Neil Beasley.
That's right, and that's what happened against Walford when we lost against Walford. It just seemed like we were going through the motions, and then all of a sudden, boom, they would score a touchdown, and we'd say, hey, what's going on? We'd do okay, go score another touchdown, but then we'd kind of lax off again. That looks like the way it's going here.
Halftime activities coming up next. Let's take a break. We are all tied up, 7-7. That's Gil Barnes, 8 carries, 29 yards. Willis, 8 carries, 7 yards. Willis is 16 for 26, 1 interception, 164 yards passing, a touchdown. He's been sacked 3 times. The leading receiver on the Knights, Roundtree's caught 5 for 37, Becton 4 for 54. Key, 3 punts, 44.3-yard average. And as far as the Owls, Cropper, 9 carries, 71 yards. He had that 37-yard touchdown run in the first quarter.
Cropper's doing everything for him. He's got the 9 attempts, 71 yards. He's also got 2 receptions, only for 6 yards, but he seems to be doing everything. We saw him block a couple times, making some outstanding blocks, giving room for his other running backs. And they're going to have to shut him down. I mean, there's not a lot you can do to shut down a great runner. You know that being a Florida fan with Emmitt Smith, you know, you can't really stop some people. You just have to slow them down, take away their game plan, take them out of their game plan, make them do something that they don't want to do.
Homecoming second half about to begin. Southern Connecticut State University and the UCF Knights all tied up 7-7. Darren DeFlorio will kick off. Becton back to receive. There's the kick. Angles to the far side, and it will roll out of bounds at the 1-yard line, a penalty. 5-yard penalty on the Owls. They'll have to kick it again. Wisely, Becton let it bounce and let it roll out of bounds at the 1. The Knights' only touchdown, 9-yard TD pass from Shane Willis to Arnell Spencer. Spencer made some good second effort moves to get into the end zone and snapped a 3-quarter scoreless drought for the Knights.
With that catch, Spencer now leads the team in touchdown receptions. He's got 4. Becton's got Trey, and Roundtree has 2.
So they'll kick it again. DeFlorio this time on the 30-yard line. Becton sets up on his 10, hoping to get a good return and put it in good field position. We still don't have the official attendance, but I'm going to go on the limb and say around 15,000, which would put us over 100,000 in home attendance. DeFlorio's kick.
Boy, that's a heck of a kick.
Becton takes it 2 yards deep in the end zone. 10, 15, 20, 25, and down at the 27-yard line. About a 29-yard return. Sean Becton, and the Knights have it first and 10 on the 29.
That kick went into the end zone, and you remember they were kicking back 5 yards. So that really, if they would have been kicking off normal, that thing would have been about 7, 8 yards deep in the end zone.
Total yards in the first half for the Knights, 229. For the Owls, 114.
We also heard about the injuries at halftime. We'll have to see if Alex Goforth, the right tackle, is in there. Troy French, they said he was having ankle problems.
First and 10, Willis. Handoff Barnes. Barnes, 30, 32-yard line. That's where he's finally down to pick up a 5. Cusick and Blair on the tackle.
Well, they're probably just going to do what they tried to do in the first half, is just establish that running game, get Gil Barnes, that big offensive line, get them fired up, get them a little mad that they're being shut out here. Bring those big offensive linemen around, just start blowing out some people. If their running game starts working, that's just going to open up the passing game that much more.
See in the replay, Cusick wrapping up Barnes for the tackle. 2nd and 5, football on the 32. The pitch to Barnes, running left this time, following his blockers, and he's hit at the 34 and pushed back. Maybe 1 or 2 on the play. Cusick again on the tackle. Cusick is a 5'10", 190-pound junior from Wayne, New Jersey.
Southern Connecticut really has done an outstanding job of stopping that little sweep play all game long, really. They have run it quite a number of times, and UCF is just not getting anything out of it. You see there's 2 white jerseys right there. That's the line of scrimmage. They're just pulling up to get a couple of yards, and they were expecting more than that, I think.
3rd down 3 on the 34. Willis, backs are split behind him. Drops back. Little screen pass to Barnes. Barnes, 40. Tackled at the 42-yard line. First down for the Knights. Kurt Gordon on the tackle.
Well, that's the screen pass. We've seen the screen and the draw from Southern quite a bit. UCF now running it. Just flick it out to Gil Barnes. He sees his block. He gets a block to the outside. There it is. Someone just kicking him out. Gil picks up enough for the first down and a little more.
The Knights moving the football on their first series of the 3rd quarter. High formation now behind Willis. He pitches it to Barnes. Barnes this time hit behind the line of scrimmage, but still gets some good yardage. 45 down at the 46. He was hit 2 yards deep. Finally, Mourning wrapped him up, but not before Barnes picks up about 3 or 4 on the play.
DeJoya had a shot on him. Mourning, I'm not sure who all had a shot on him. There's one. He should have been down right there. And right there, that's 2. Gil Barnes just showing some excellent power. Now he cuts back up inside, takes another hit and another. The 4th one, and those are all direct shots on him too. Well, except for the first one was kind of a sliding tackle, but geez, That shows some awful power from Gil Barnes.
That kind of a run could fire Barnes up for the second half. 2nd down and 6. Hand off Barnes. 50, 48, taking a tackler with him and finally down at the 45-yard line. Reggie Player wrestled him down, but not before Barnes gets another first down. Gil Barnes is really running effectively in the second half.
He sure is. I tell you what, that also fires up your offensive line. If the line is saying, hey, these backs can run, can do a great job even when we're not blocking, just think of what they can do if we give them a hole. They gave him a little hole there, and then he hit Player, and Player's known as a good hitter, but it looked like Gil got the best of him on that play and just kind of drug him for a little extra yard, then a first down.
12:05 and counting, third quarter, 7-7. Knights and Owls. Beautiful sunny day at the Florida Citrus Bowl Orlando. Live broadcast on Cablevision of Central Florida. Willis drops back, throws far side, caught and dropped, incomplete.
That's
Arnell Spencer had it and dropped it.
Spencer has had some problems this year with drops. He hasn't quite been the all-star that everyone expected him to be, coming in to replace Teddy and Bernard. And that's what everyone's booing about. That was a late hit. It was really uncalled for.
Sean McGlynn with the late hit.
But it was not called.
Second and 10 on the 45. Willis passes to Barnes. Barnes, 45. Spins ahead to about the 43-yard line. Kirk Gordon wrapped him up and held on. Pick up a 2 or 3 on the play. It'll be a 3rd down and 7.
Bunch him up. Hey, expect him to come.
Now, Gil made this play. There's the defender. He just cuts right back, takes the angles away from both of those defensive men, and picks up what he can get. It's not a whole lot. Forcing a 3rd and long, something UCF really does not want to be in, even though they're a great passing team.
3rd down, 8, 43-yard line. Willis throws over the middle, complete, wide open, Becton. And Becton down at the 30, another first down for the Knights. Sean McGlynn wrapped him up and tackled him, but another first down for the Knights.
Well, that play gives Shane Willis 2 options. Sean Becton will go down and then stop. Perry Blasis at the bottom of your screen comes out for a flare. If Becton's not open, he hits Blasis. That time Becton was open. The linebacker came flying up to meet Perry. That made Becton open. Shane saw it, hit it, first down.
13-yard pass play. Willis to Becton. 1st and 10 on the 30. And Angel Mason. Oh, that's Gatlin. Gatlin over the 20 to the 19-yard line. Kevin Gatlin, the freshman from Jacksonville. Morrow and Morning made the tackle.
Gatlin's going to stay in there. He's a freshman coming in, finally giving Gil Barnes some relief in there. Pretty big hole. His offensive lineman must have realized they had a new back in there. They said, let's give him some room.
Inside the Owl 20-yard line, there's a good shot of Kevin Gatlin. 5'11", 170-pound freshman from Jacksonville. The I formation, and Gatlin in the tailback position. You hear Willis barking signals. Drops back to pass. Looking for somebody. Throws. Caught by Gatlin, but he stepped out of bounds. It's got to be incomplete. You'll see if we have the replay on that. Gatlin fell out of bounds or stepped out of bounds, tried to get back in when the pass was coming to him.
That play was not supposed to go to Gatlin. It was supposed to go to Sean Becton, but the defensive coverage was all over Sean Becton. They pushed him out of bounds. They shoved him. They were covering him all over. So Shane did what he could. Saw a receiver out there, just kind of really throwing it away, but hoping Gatlin can make a nice play and catch it.
Fire him up, Gil. Come on, Barnes. Go!
2nd down and 10 on the 19. Knights holding onto the football in this drive. Barnes with a handoff over the 20. 15. Spins down over the 15 to about the 13-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the play. Jonathan Morning and Steven Stearns on the tackle.
Now UCF is into the rhythm they want it to be at the beginning of this football game. Just give it off to the running backs, let the offensive line blow the holes. Just typical football. Good 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
I can see Blasis making a nice block in that play.
Yeah, Blasis is a big kid, and he'll get you a lot of blocks. Blasis and Jordan, 2 excellent fullbacks. They rotate them in.
3rd down and 4. Ground level shot of Shane Willis from the Knights.
52!
Willis, pressure, and he hit and tackled at the 24-yard line. Jonathan Mourning, coming from his inside linebacker spot, blitzed and made the good tackle. And got the quarterback sack.
Shane called the audible, and now he's when he wants to throw it. It's a quick audible, but the receiver's not open. Perry Belasis can't just make the block. That guy just comes flying around. Mourning. He's quick for 6'4", 240. He showed some speed to get right around the block. Once again, UCF having its problems getting in the end zone.
Blake Holton will attempt a 40-yard field goal, kneeling down on the 30 is Arnell Spencer. This will give the Knights the lead.
He's 2 for 4 from this range.
The set, the kick, it's up in the air, and it is good. 40-yard field goal, Blake Holton, Knights on top, 8:45, third quarter, UCF 10, Southern Connecticut State University 7. Let's take a timeout.
George's Hideaway, located just 1/2 mile north of Lee Road on Edgewater, is your place for great games, food, and rock and roll. Inside, you'll find 7 championship quarter-a-play pool tables, 6 professional dartboards, excellent food, big screen TV, and the best rock and roll bands in Central Florida. There's even an outside recreation area for more fun and games. Come to George's Hideaway for great times at great prices with the best rock and roll band. And remember, there's never a cover charge.
Back to the Florida Citrus Bowl, Orlando. There you see the kick of Blake Holton. Freeze frame shot. 10-7. Knights leading. Homecoming, 25th anniversary of the University of Central Florida. So you would hope the Knights would get a win here.
Blake Holton, it's kind of interesting, in between 40 and 49 yards, that's the only distance he kicks from. He's never kicked from over 50 or under 40, and he's 3 of 5 from that distance. That's not bad to be over 50% from that far out. Those are some healthy kicks.
Kurt Aiken will kick off, and when Aiken kicks, generally he kicks it up in the air and not too deep.
I'll tell you what, that field goal has gotten this crowd involved. They are into it, stomping.
You see Aiken waiting for the signal to kick off. Back to receive, Jason Hawes and John Kennedy. There's the kick, high in the air. One of the upbacks will take the fair catch. It's loose at the 32-yard line. Let's see who has it.
I think they got back on it, which would be a break. That's what you want. You pop it up short, cause some confusion on the receiving team, and try and recover the fumble.
Let's see who got that fumble. Watch what happens here. The guy calls a fair catch. One of his players runs into him.
Yeah, look at that. There's 3 guys all in there. 2 guys actually trying to make the catch. John Peruso, number 15, was the guy trying to catch it at first.
Did Peruso get the fumble? Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Peruso.
Looks that way, so he's lucky. He saved himself a lot of embarrassment in the film room by jumping on that fumble.
Well, the guy that ran into him should be embarrassed. I mean, his own team.
Well, actually, that's not Peruso's call. He's the up man. The deep back is the guy. If he can get to the football, he's got to call the other guy off.
I think we see the final score flashing on the scoreboard, and if you're a Gator fan, I don't think it's good news. Vanderbilt 24, Florida 9. It's going to be a long season for the Gators after Emmitt Smith was injured.
Boy, that is a shocker.
24-9. The Gators haven't won in Nashville since 1966, so the losing streak continues in Nashville, Tennessee.
Tell you what, Vanderbilt's a tough football team this year.
Playing good.
An excellent quarterback.
They can stop flashing it, though. I mean,
yeah, they're rubbing a little.
The Gator fans don't want to see the score on the scoreboard anymore. We know we lost.
There's some good football games around today. This one, UCF Southern Connecticut.
Yep.
Is turning out to be a real good one. Miami Notre Dame, Vanderbilt Florida, I guess was a good one.
Well, no, it wasn't a good one.
Well, unless you're a Florida fan.
There's Paul Lounsbury, offensive line coach, going over the next alignment when they go back on the field, the offense that is.
Well, I tell you, they did you see, I think it was Sports Illustrated, had an article on Florida football, talked about the Big 3, Florida, Florida State, Miami. They said, hey, it might pretty soon be the Big 4 with UCF playing some pretty doggone good ball.
I think it will be. Look at that hit by Wyatt Bogan. The handoff to Cropper, and he was met head-on by Bogan, who pushed him back and loses 2 or 3 on the play. Look at Wyatt. He's fired up.
Bogan is bad. That's all there is to it. He is just a bad football player. He knows it, and he loves it. That's his role on this team. He fires everybody else up, and I tell you, if the fans weren't fired up now, or before, they sure are now.
A loss of 1 on the play.
That's a roach. That's what you roach.
Yeah.
When the roach dies, they stick with their legs up in the air, and that's what the running back was.
Good description, Neil. 2nd and 11. Wade throws, incomplete. Intended receiver was Smith.
I tell you, Covington was all over him. If not for the receiver kind of chopping his feet and hesitation on the receiver's part, I believe Covington comes up with an interception because he was coming up to make that play, and because the receiver hesitated, Covington had to hesitate, and the ball just kind of floated out of the way.
3rd down 11. 8:06 left, 3rd quarter. Knights leading 10-7. There is Dennis Wade over center.
Big 3rd down play. They can get them 3 plays and out here. Get that offense back on the field. More momentum.
Wade throws in and out of the hands of the intended receiver Daniels around the 45-yard line, right through his hands.
Yeah, that was a tough catch, though. The ball was a little bit behind him, and I tell you what, Wade rifled that pass. Of course, you got to make those catches. That's what turns good football teams into great football teams, and maybe that's what turns an 0-5 football team into a 1-5 football team.
Kirk Weiler, we should mention, put a lot of heat on the quarterback, Wade. Smith is punting. He averaged over 45 yards a kick in the first half. He sits up on the 15. And he's going to keep the football. Running for his life. Covington wraps him up and tackles him on the 15-yard line. Brian Covington chased down Smith. I don't know if it was a bad snap or not.
I think the punter just freaked. He freaked out. You can't do that. You've got to just go ahead and punt the ball. The punter wasn't sure if the guy would block it. He saw out of the corner of his eye somebody coming in there to block that thing, and he panicked. And you can't do that. He took off trying to run and make another running kick. And I tell you, that's not going to go down in the statistics as a blocked punt, but it's just as good as one.
Just as good.
Momentum swings. You got the field position, everything.
Brian Covington on the big tackle. The Knights have it 1st and 10 on the Owl 17. Barnes, 10-5, touchdown, UCF. 17-yard run, nobody touched him. Gil Barnes, UCF, now on top, 16-7.
John, I have the distinct feeling that every one of those players has a size 11 shoe hitting them on the butt at halftime because they just really came out. Coach McDowell, I'm sure, just drilled it into their heads that they were playing with a lack of intensity, and they aren't now. They're just coming, they're fired up, ready to go, and they proved it on the first couple possessions.
Clay Colton attempts the extra point. The 17th point of this football game. The set. The ball's in the air, and it is good. 7:50 left, 3rd quarter. UCF 17, Southern Connecticut State University 7. Let's take a timeout.
Central Florida is home of one of the hottest crew teams in the nation. 80 members strong, the crew team has brought home national championship titles as well as international acclaim to Central Florida. Eat 'em up, let's go! Discipline and dedication have made the difference at the University of Central Florida.
Back to the Florida Citrus Bowl. Orlando, John Anthony, Neil Beasley. Knights football on Cablevision of Central Florida. Glad you could be with us. 17-7, UCF leading the homecoming game. And Knights going into this homecoming contest, last 4 homecoming games, they're 1-3. So they'd like to get another win on homecoming.
You know, maybe it's just the fact that they come into the game, 1-3 on homecoming. They know it's a day game. They know everything's weird. And they're saying, well, maybe there is something to this. Maybe we don't play well, and it makes them play a little worse. But in any event, they've come out here in the second half, 2 drives. They've got points on both of them. And now they're playing good football. Now they're playing the kind that Coach McDowell wants them to play.
Kurt Aiken will kick off, and now the returners are setting up on their own 15-yard line. So they know Aiken does not kick them deep, but he kicks them pretty high in the air. Kennedy and Hawes are on their own 15-yard line. This time he grounds one, bounces up at the 30-yard line, and one of the up men has it and falls down on the 32. So Aiken is really psyching out the Owls. He'll kick it high in the air, and now he hits it on the ground.
Yeah, the return man had room to run, but he's not used to having a ball, I guess, and he just said, I don't want to fumble it again. I don't want to mess it up any more than I have already, so he just kind of went down.
Mark Pryor. Here he is.
Look at this. Now, there's all white shirts in front of him, but he just ducks down and says, I don't want to run. No.
Just fall on me, end it. First and 10 on the 31. The handoff to Giovanni Daniels, and there's going to be a face mask. Daniels fell ahead to the 32-yard line. Looked like Wiley might have got his face mask on the play. Notre Dame leading Miami. Is that a final, or is that 21-7? Notre Dame leading the top-ranked Miami Hurricanes. The Canes went into that football game with a 36-game winning streak during the regular season, 20 straight on the road.
Irish have a good football team, though. They're coming back.
Penalty on the Knights.
Defense. First down.
Don Carter, head referee, with a call.
Yeah, Kirk knew it. I mean, it's no big deal. He wasn't trying to rip the guy's head off or anything. That just happened to be where his hand came up and grabbed. He let go. Kirk's not going to worry about that.
Giovanni Daniels with the handoff over the 40 to about the 41-yard line, picks up 2. Darrell Ivory on the tackle.
Well, that interior, that defense is starting to pick up with the intensity now. I guess it's kind of spreading. It's getting everywhere. And the offense kind of had it first. Gil Barnes, offensive line, picking up the intensity. Now the defense looks like they've got it. It's just spreading.
Second down and 1. Football on the 40. Knights defense digs in. Not going to get the first down. In fact, he's pushed backwards. Ivory looked like he was on him. That was Proper with the ball. Vitulski helped out. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down and 1.
Oh, there it is. That line just coming up.
Look at Spitolski wrapping him up with the arm.
Boy, everybody's in there. They seem to take that personally. That UCF defensive line does an outstanding job on the short yardage down by the goal line. They just...
Third down 1. Dennis Wade, the quarterback. And first down and more. Carl Newton gets the first down, finally tackled at the 44-yard line. Keith Evans on the tackle.
Come on now, I'm sure it's nothing serious. You're probably just not attracted to this woman.
No, that's not it. I mean, I've been out with her twice before and done just fine. She really tried to get...
For the offensive line, giving the running back room to roam.
The wind now has kind of changed directions.
Wind has been a little funny today. It's kind of shifted on us. As a kicker or punter, that's got to bother you, because every time you're getting close to kick time, you got to be looking up there wondering which way that flag.
Second down. Cropper got nothing on that last carry. Wade, the quarterback, escapes the rush. Now he's running with it. He's hit head-on at the 44-yard line. He might have lost one on the play. Picking him up is Wyatt Bogan. Now, did they give Bogan a sack on that? He was trying to run with it, but he was hit behind the line of scrimmage.
I'm not sure if you give him a sack or not. The play was behind the line of scrimmage, and he was scrambling. Well, watch Wyatt Bogan. Dennis Wade is a good runner. He's an exciting runner. They love to watch him run up there in Southern. And watch it. He just plants, pick away.
No way are you going to get through Wyatt Bogan. 4:34. Knights leading 17-7 third quarter. Wade looks, throws, and it is complete at around the 45, and that's Giovanni Daniels with a catch. He might be right at the first down marker.
Yeah, his forward progress are going to give him a first down. That's a nice pitch and catch. Keith Evans was all over him. A couple other people came in late, but there it is again. Nice throw. Look at that rocket shot. And he's well covered. Keith Evans is right there. Not a lot you can do about that play defensively.
First down for the Owls. Football on the Knights' 44-yard line.
Let's go!
It's all tied 7-7 at halftime. Wade, screen pass, over the 40, over the 30, and down at the 26-yard line. Eric Buckley on the tackle.
Guess
or is
who?
it Byron Felder?
Ivan Cropper running the football again. What do we just say? They've got to. He looks like Eric Dickerson.
He does look like Dickerson.
A little
You're right.
tall. He's got that little neck brace on. kind of lopes like him.
Yeah.
Just a screen pass. I tell you what, that screen and the draw has really worked well. They've used it at the right times, it seems like, just to pick up the yards they need, keeping them in the football game.
18-yard pass play, Wade to Cropper, and the Owls have it on the Knights' 26-yard line. Wade pitches it to Cropper, and he's pushed out of bounds around the 20-yard line. There's a flag down on the play. Kirk Wiley pushed Cropper out of bounds.
Now they don't run the option a whole lot, but they ran it into the short side of the field. Cropper didn't have a whole lot of room to work with. Looks like he's kind of shaken up. Maybe got the wind knocked out of him there.
Penalties on the Owls. Going to be a hold on Southern Connecticut State University. John Carter, the head referee, comes up and will officially make the call.
Holding. Offense. First down.
First down over, but not after a big setback. And when you're moving the ball like that, moving it downfield, boy, those penalties can really, it's heartbreaking, you know, to have a decent run and you're moving and all of a sudden, boom, setback.
First and 20 on the 37. Hand off to Cropper. 35-30. And he's out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Jimmy Roberts pushed him out of bounds.
Boy, that has got to be frustrating for UCF. They are just using that draw and screen so well. That was a draw again. Everything looked like pass. The lineman dropped back like pass. Receivers going out. Look at Kirk Wiley knows he was fooled. He goes running in there, slips, as the running back just goes right by him.
Second down and 13. They picked up 7 on that run play. Wade drops back, looks, throws over the middle, and it is caught in traffic by Cropper right at the 20-yard line. And Cropper, Byron Felder on the play. Well, that could be Carl Newton.
Well, you can't.
That is Carl Newton.
Well, you can't defend that any better than that. He was all over him. And still is a nice pitch, nice catch, and watch the throw. He just steps up, rifles that pass in. Look at that. 2 guys right there. Wyatt Bogan also in on it.
That was Carl Newton with a great catch in traffic. Third down and about 3.5 for a first down. Football inside the 20. Handoff first back throw as Cropper looks like he has the first down at around the 15-yard line with the handoff. Joe Simmons on the tackle.
John, this is not an 0-5 football team. I'll tell you that. They are playing some outstanding ball. It's hard to see how they haven't won a game yet. Offensive line does a good job. Running backs, they throw it when they have to.
Players shaking up. Looks like it's Cropper.
Yeah, that's a big loss.
We should mention the Owls are an independent like the Knights. They're trying to snap a 14-game losing skid.
Building a new field up there, too. That's why they play a lot of away games. I think they only have like 2 or 3 home games this year, and they're playing them at a different stadium, and now they're building a new one. It's going to have artificial turf and everything, the whole 9 yards.
Speaking of Cropper, here's what he says about the Knights' defense.
We practiced a lot against what they did last week, which was a lot of blitz. And this week, you know, we pretty much got our reads down and stuff, and I'm ready to take on whatever they got coming for us.
And there is Cropper now being helped to the far sideline. He's most of their offense, so they hope he can come back. Official attendance, 22,439. Why was I off? I said around 15,000.
And that puts them well up and over the 100,000 mark for the season. Here's the play again. Let's see if we can see something that looks like an injury.
I see under the pile there Joe Simmons.
Yeah, maybe Simmons is just, his body is just being twisted by Simmons has his trunk, Keith Evans, and Bill Stewart pushing his upper body in there. Something going the way it shouldn't.
First down and 10. Football on the 15. Wade hands off, and Daniels is hit behind the line of scrimmage at the 21-yard line. Smelling out the play, there he is. The Mark Gastineau of Central Florida, Steve Spears.
Steve Spears. He it looked like he knew what that play was. Look at him. He's just coming, he's right there where the back is when he gets the ball. Boy, you can't, as an offensive lineman, that's got to be frustrating. That guy just whipped you.
Second down and 14. A loss of 4 on the play. Football on the 20-yard line. Wade wanted to sneak it, and he's going to still try to run it. Makes the turn. He can't make the turn. Wiley knocked him out of bounds at the 25-yard line. I'm telling you, Wade wanted a quarterback sneak it. Nothing was open. He tried to run wide, and Wiley caught him.
That was well played all around. Wade is very elusive. We've seen that before. He's had some pretty good runs, some quarterback sneaks and things. It looks like he did. Right there, he wants the quarterback sneak it, but he can't. Bill Stewart's coming right up the middle. Now it's Kirk Wiley's turn. Forces him outside, stops back inside, goes back outside. Wiley's there, wherever he wants to go.
On 2 running plays, the Owls have lost 10 yards.
5 yards on the last play,
Third down, 20. Football on the 26. 1:34 left, third quarter. UCF leading 17-7. Wade. Little screen pass. And Cropper is hit at the 27-yard line by Robert Lindsay. A loss of another yard on the play.
Lindsay coming in for Grissom at the nose guard spot. Read that one. We've talked about the screen and the draw, how well it's worked. Ivan Cropper in there again. Came back, I guess, wasn't banged up too much.
There was a late flag on the play, Neil. It dropped right after the players got up.
Stewart and Lindsay both there to make the stop. Spitolski going to clean up if those guys don't put him down. And they're saying Southern is pointing that it's against UCF. Maybe an off.
Hey. Really glad you're here. Hey, what's going on? Did you find out the name of the trustee? No.
And they march it off.
This must be
Personal foul. Defense. First down.
I'd like to see that play again. It must have happened right after the play.
15-yard penalty and an automatic first down inside the 15-yard line. Is that? Oh, that hurts. That is a big, big penalty.
The attendance with the 22,000 plus for the season, 109,821 unofficially. That is not too bad. First and 10. Football on the 13 after that personal foul penalty on the Knights. Wade hands off. Cropper tries to burrow himself to about the 11-yard line.
Flag on the play.
Another flag. Bill Stewart on the tackle.
Number 10, Forrest Ham, a reserve defensive back, came in for Keith Evans. Now he's going out, came in, made his one-play debut.
Looks like another penalty on the Knights. 2 costly penalties. We got a shot of some of the UCF coaches. Bruce Bennett, the defensive coordinator, with a big frown on his face. Can't believe this. 58 seconds, third quarter.
Now we've got to have somewhere around 75 penalties, I would imagine, for the season. We had 69 coming into the game, and 98. In 1985, we had 98.
Illegal participation. Defense. First down.
What was that penalty?
Illegal participation. They maybe had either too many men on the field.
Probably. Boy.
First down, Southern Connecticut.
Another first down.
Now there's the play. Not much to the play. UCF had it stopped up pretty well.
Back-to-back penalties on the Knights. Wade looking, throws, and it's in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Carl Newton, who had the touchdown if he held on to the football.
Dennis Wade's pass intended for number 38, Carl.
Exactly right. That was a touchdown if he catches that pass. Kind of a weird-looking pass that had the defensive back messed up. I guess it had Newton messed up, too, because he didn't know where he was going. Newton coming into the game with 7 catches for 70 yards. No touchdowns. Could have had one there.
Second down, goal to goal. Football on the 7-yard line. Knights leading by 10. But the Owls looking to score some points here. Wade throws in the end zone. Jimmy Roberts had a great chance to intercept it. And all over him on the play was Kevin Moses. Kevin Moses wisely jumped on Roberts, but that could have been offensive interference.
It could have been. I'd like to see the replay, see if it was, but if not, let's see. They just throw it up for grabs, Wade does. Moses now turned defensive back. Oh, that looks like a super play. Comes in with his hands around the defensive back's helmet. I guess that was number 3, Jimmy Roberts, and just bats the ball away without touching him.
Third down, goal to goal. Football remains at the 7-yard line. Wade, handoff to Cropper over the 5 and struggles ahead to about the 3-yard line.
They've got a decision to make, Southern. Do you go for a field goal or do you try the touchdown here?
Simmons and Bogan on the tackle.
They're going to go for the field goal, looks like.
Jim Simmons, number 49, Wyatt Bogan.
Darren DeFlorio comes in to attempt the field goal. He's 4 for 9 in field goal attempts this season.
DeFlorio had a tough week last week. He was 0 for 1 on extra points and 0 for 1 on field goals.
Lee Mayoko will do the holding.
I'm not. They're measuring here, but the way we read it, it was 3rd and goal.
I thought it was goal.
No, obviously not. It's a first down.
First down on the 3.
Well,
that was a late.
Yeah,
I don't understand that.
They also have the little arrow down on the sidelines. You can. I don't know, you can't see it in this picture, but it's up towards, and it's sitting on the goal line. That shows you where you have to go for the first down. It's been sitting on the goal line ever since that last first down.
And now they're going to call it, the Knights want to call a timeout because this is totally confusing. And the Knights will call, I do believe, a timeout because I think,
well, the Knights have 13 men on the field. That's probably one reason.
All right. We must have misread it because looking at it from our vantage point, it looked like it was a goal-to-goal situation, but
yeah, I'm not sure if you guys can get a shot down there in the truck, but the opposite sidelines, right on the goal line, there's an orange marker on the field. And that marker is set down for the first down marker. In other words, when a player is running towards the out of bounds, he looks for that thing on the ground, and then he tries to run right near that to pick up the first down. But it is sitting right on the goal line, which means you had 1st and goal, and it was there during the last set of downs.
Yep.
3rd and goal is what we had it.
That's the way I read it, but obviously I'm wrong because the Knight coaches aren't really making too much of a fuss about it.
There it is. You see the orange marker in the bottom part of your screen.
Yep.
Now, what happens, that back white line, that's where the stick goes up. But they keep that orange marker on the ground there in case the play starts coming towards the sidelines. They have to drop those big markers so it doesn't hurt any players. And that way the player with the ball can just look for that thing to dive for first down. 4 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. It says 0-0 up on the clock. So, boy, that's a big play.
Crazy.
I'm sure UCF defense thought it was 3rd and goal also. As far as I know, everyone in the stadium except for the officials thought it was 3rd goal.
But as we said, the Knights coaches aren't making too much of a fuss of it. Next week's game on the road, the UCF Knights are at Valdosta. Back here it is 1st and goal to goal now. We're definitely positive about that, I think. I have no idea what's going on, but Wade has the ball and he hands off. And there's not going to be any yardage on that play. Stacked up right at about the 3-yard line. Carl Newton with the football. Joe Simmons and Wyatt Bogan on the tackle. And that should be the end of the 3rd quarter.
And that's the end of
with the score, UCF 17, Southern Connecticut State University 7, Central Florida. It's homecoming here. Beautiful day, a crowd of 22,000 plus, Neil, so we're over 109,000 for the season.
Here's the play before on 1st down and goal. We think it's goal. But nothing doing for the defense. We've got a good one going. I'm sure the UCF coaches didn't want a good one as far as this goes. They wanted a blowout, show the fans for homecoming.
Well, like you explained during the break, possibly that penalty made it 1st down.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The penalty made it 1st and goal from the 8 or 7. I'm not real sure where they had it. But then they just never moved the chains. From where it was in the 13 to the 3 was where they had it. And then the penalty moved them down to the 7, but they never did move the chains.
So we were a little confused up here. It's understandable.
What else is new?
That's why I say understandable. But I think we've got our act together. 15 more minutes of football in this quarter, 4th quarter, 17-7 Knights. The Owls have it on the UCF 3-yard line. 2nd down and goal to goal. Not even counting that Bethune-Cookman game, we're over 109,000 in attendance, which is smashing all UCF home attendance records.
Well, hey, when you win, you bring the people in. People like to be associated with winners, and UCF is definitely a winner.
Dennis Wade, the quarterback. 2nd and 3 for the touchdown. Wade, the pitch play. Cropper juggling the football. It's loose, but it rolls out of bounds at around the 3-yard line. Patulski put the hit on, knocked him out of bounds, and if the ball just would stay in bounds.
Well, Cropper, when you make that first bobble, that scares you, and you become a little bit tense. You bobble again and again and again, but there it was. Now, after that bobble, he's like, I gotta get it, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. But he ran out of sidelines, fortunately for him, and the ball just went out of bounds.
3rd down.
After that first one, it just becomes harder and harder to catch the ball.
If it just hits Patulski's leg, it could have stayed in bounds. Football on the floor, 3rd and goal to goal. Wade throws in the end zone. Incomplete. Keith Evans putting the pressure on. Donald Ciarsha had it and dropped it when he hit the turf.
And you couldn't have defensed that any better than Keith Evans did. Owls are looking for a penalty, pass interference. It looked like Keith just had that well timed. We'll see if there's a penalty here. Keith is behind him, comes up. Wow, that's a great pass and a nice attempt.
Dave Florio, 21-yard field goal attempt. A set, a kick, it's up in the air, and it is good. 14:47 left, 4th quarter, UCF 17. Southern Connecticut State University 10. Let's take a break.
A unique challenge has been issued to supporters of UCF athletics. Many companies and individuals have already pledged contributions based upon the number of victories by Coach Z. McDowell and the UCF football team this season.
You can become part of this exciting challenge and show your confidence in the UCF athletic program by pledging your support in any amount to the UCF Fighting Knights.
Call the UCF athletic office at 275-2086. Take the coach's challenge and win with the UCF Fighting Knights in 1988. Come see us.
Welcome back to the Florida Citrus Bowl Orlando. John Anthony along with Mac the Knight and Neil Beasley. Homecoming, 17-10 Knights lead. Neil, we found yourself a career. After this, you're going to be the new Mac the Knight. I think it pays well. Look at the gorilla in Phoenix for the Suns games. He was making like $85,000 as the Suns mascot.
Wow, get paid, have all that fun and be that crazy, huh?
Yeah. There's Sean Beckton.
And we have to be so uptight here.
We're not uptight. We got a nice cable vision of Central Florida Blazers on. I feel good. Too bad I don't get paid by mentioning that. I'd be making a fortune.
Really?
There's the kick by DeFlorio. Taken at the 25-yard line by Roundtree. Roundtree escapes some tacklers. 30, 35, 40, out of bounds at the 42-yard line. They thought they had him about 15 yards back, but he fooled everybody.
Well, when you beat that, you have one man on the outside on the kickoff team who is a contained man. You don't let anyone outside of you if you're the contained man. If you beat that man, a lot of times you pick up some extra yards. That time they did. They beat him to the outside by coming inside, then slipping that tackle. That's why he got outside and picked up the yards. He's already beaten him now. Number 10, I think, was the contained man on the outside. He just slipped the tackle. Had to get his friends in there to help out.
17-yard return for Chantel Roundtree. Knights have it on the 42. Good field position. And Barnes bounces off some tacklers, going to the outside 50, 45, 40. Out of bounds at around the 32-yard line.
There's flag on the play, and it looks like everyone's walking backwards.
There's the run again by Gil Barnes.
Well, it's a pretty one. He just kind of bounces it, stutter steps inside, takes off to the outside. Can't quite turn the corner. But maybe the reason he had that hole is because of a penalty.
Stepped out at the 35. Richard Kavickas is down on the play. Number of plays, 22 for 65 yards.
That's one way of keeping your defense off the field by running 22 plays.
Kavickas limps off to the far side with some help. Did we get that Notre Dame score now? It was 21-7 Notre Dame.
Now it's 21-21.
Offense. First down.
Typical Miami comeback on the road. Holding on the Knights. 10-yard penalty, so forget about Barnes' big run. It'll be a first down. And 15. 76 degrees here at the Florida Citrus Bowl, Orlando. Beautiful day. Play action, Willis throws, caught by Jordan. And Jordan is pushed out of bounds at around the 47-yard line, a 10-yard pickup. Jonathan Mourning pushed him out of bounds, but Jordan 10 yards on the pass play.
John Jordan, the starting fullback, 6'0", 195 junior, showing some pretty good hands over there. Perry Belasis was the starter last year. Kind of looked like he'd just have the run of things throughout his career. He's a sophomore this year, but Jordan came in, had a heck of a summer workout, and earned the right as the starting fullback.
Second down and 4. Football on the Knights, 47. And off Barnes. 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. Barnes is out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Reggie Player chased him down. Another big pickup, Gil Barnes, and this time it counts.
Yeah, no flags on the play this time. It counts. Like you said, I think that offense, there's not much difference between the first half and the second half. Just that little bit of intensity, that little holding your block for just that much longer, hitting the hole that much quicker, and it really adds up when you put those both together. You make the holes, you make the big plays.
27-yard run, Gil Barnes. First and 10 on the 25. And off, Barnes struggles ahead, gets down to about the 20-yard line. That is Angel Mesa. Angel Mesa.
34 instead of 44 there. Angel had a carry last week, his first carry.
5 yards on the play, second 5.
Cusick on the tackle. Mesa, the junior from Lake Highland Prep.
So now we have seen Kevin Gatlin at tailback, Angel Mesa, and Gil Barnes.
And Roundtree's been busy. He's a freshman, so boy, the Knights getting the youngsters in there. Second and 5. Play action. Willis throws, Beckton, touchdown, UCF. And that wakes the crowd up again.
There's a flag on the play. It's after the pass was completed. It's after the touchdown. Touchdown will count. And I think it's going to, it's on Southern. One of their players there, I think it was Sean McGlynn, the strong safety, was getting in a fight.
A personal foul. Defense. The penalty will be administered on the kickoff.
He was a little perturbed that John Osborne did such a good job of blocking on him, I guess. Kind of started slapping him around while John was on the ground, and the ref saw it and threw the flag.
Blake Colton to attempt the extra point.
But Shane Willis saw the man-on-man coverage, knew his receiver could beat it, called the audible, threw the pass, touchdown. Pretty play.
Spencer sets it down, the kick is up, and it is good. 13:28 left in the fourth quarter. The score now, UCF 24, Southern Connecticut State University 10. Let's take a timeout.
When a service technician from Cablevision in Central Florida visits your home, he'll be courteous, confident, and professional. We know a lot of people think cable television is only about technology, but at Cablevision in Central Florida, we realize our business is also about people. When you call for service, we respond. Polite, effective, swift, and efficient. Cablevision in Central Florida knows that you expect good service, and we deliver.
Here's a replay of the touchdown. He called the audible. He's got maximum protection because everybody's coming in on the blitz. His receivers are man-on-man. There you see him. Beckton just beats him to the inside. Pretty pass. Touchdown.
Kicking off will be Blake Holton. And after that penalty, personal foul, he'll kick off at the 50. I want to see him get it right through the goalpost.
Well, he could. In fact, before the game, he was warming up with 64-yard field goals, or I think even 67-yard field goals. And that's from his own 45, so he's got 5 extra yards.
Very similar, 22,000 plus here today at the Florida Citrus Bowl. The scoring drive, 5 plays, 58 yards, a minute 19, and that 20-yard pass from Willis to Becton. Play Colton, and the ball falls off the tee.
That's happened quite a bit here at UCF, and I'm still convinced that someone has a little string out there and pulls it at the last minute.
And now, Holter wants somebody to hold it.
And everyone's going up there. I want to hold it. I want to hold it. Chantel Roundtree, I think, is the guy who's going to end up and hold it.
That deep receive, 24, John Kimball, number 2, Jason Haas.
The kick. That one is way out of the end zone. Not through the goalpost, but way out of the end zone.
No, it wasn't a very good kick. It was wide left.
So the Owls have it 1st and 10 on their own 20.
You know Blake was trying for that, too.
They'd love to do that. Love to try to get it through the crossbars. Or over the crossbar, through the uprights.
20-yard line, 13 minutes, 28 seconds remaining.
Well, the game's certainly not over. 13:28 on the clock. 24-10, that's 2 touchdowns. They get 1 cheap, they earn 1. You know, you never know. Score's tied.
This is where the Knights defense would really like to push him back. Get good field position, put another 7 points on the scoreboard. A handoff to Newton. Tries to get outside and escapes one tackler. That was Felder, and finally wrapped up by Spitolsky at the 21-yard line. A pickup of a hard 1 yard on the play.
UCF has seemed to be doing that all game. One guy will come in, slow him down. He looks like he breaks that tackle. He's going to pick up some big yards, but somebody else is right there. And even though the first guy that's getting there is not tackling him, UCF has a lot of people coming in and filling the gaps and making it up and doing a good job of tackling after that. See, one guy misses him, here comes someone else to fill the void.
That was a 2-yard pickup, 2nd down and 8. And Giovanni Daniels over the 30 to the 31-yard line. Looks like he has the 1st down.
Boy, didn't have much of a hole, but just enough to squeeze up through there and get the 1st down. Those blockers are holding the block just long enough where the running back can cut right through.
Hessinger on the tackle. 1st and 10, football on the 31. Good shot of the head coach of the Owls, Rich Kavanaugh, in his 4th year out of American International College. And Daniels over the 30, a flag on the play. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
It looked like someone was moving for Southern, but not real sure.
Lindsey and Hessinger on the tackle.
I was wrong once before in my life. It may happen again.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, they called it on UCF. I knew it.
Offsides on the Knights. 5-yard penalty. So instead of 2nd and 10, we've got 2nd and 5.
Offside. Defense. 1st down.
It's 1st and 5.
1st and 5. See, I'm wrong too. There's Dean McDowell. Pensive look. Looking at the action. We're waiting for that final on Notre Dame, Miami. It's all tied up 21-21. The Hurricanes are trailing 21-7. Game's in South Bend, Indiana. Wade, draw play. To Cropper over the 45, and he's down at the 47. Joe Simmons finally got him down. Another 1st down.
And that play continues to work well. Everyone came flying in. Brian Hessinger was coming in from the backside, and at the last moment, he hands off to the tailback. And that's you see all the black jerseys are in the backfield, but the running back's got the football making the yards.
10-yard run. 1st and 10 on the 46. Wade throws. Almost intercepted by Keith Evans. Just bounced off his leg.
Receiver Giovanni Daniels was open, but the quarterback, Wade, threw it upfield instead of across field. The receiver was coming across the field. If Wade leads him a little bit, It's a catch and a big gain, big first down. Nice chunk of yardage, but he overthrew him.
2nd and 10 on the 46. 24-10, Knights leading. Handoff, Newton gets to the outside and makes the turn and tackled at the 47-yard line. About 3 yards short of the first down. Jimmy Goodman and Covington on the tackle.
Southern Connecticut is picking up some pretty good yards against UCF's rushing defense. They've run this play quite a bit.
3rd down and 3 on the 47.
Wyatt B. almost had him for a no-gain situation.
We're in the double wing. The handoff, Daniels hit Wyatt Bogan, helmet for helmet, and Bogan would not yield.
You could hear that pop up in the booth.
Look at Wyatt. He is definitely number 1. Just ask Giovanni Daniels.
Watch this. This has got to hurt. Boom. Wyatt is tough.
4th down play. Evans is back now on his own 12-yard line. Chris Smith will punt on his own 40.
It seems like Wyatt Bogan excels on those 3rd and 4th and short. You know what? He always seems to come flying up and make the big play.
Smith will try to punch it inside the 20. Evans has it on the 12. And Evans stumbles down to around the 16-yard line. He is just gang tackled right there. Knights will have it 1st and 10 on their own 16. 10:06 left. 4th quarter. They lead 24-10. 32-yard punt and a 2-yard return.
Not much of a return, but he was making people miss. Unfortunately, he couldn't find any blockers to help him out with those misses, and everyone that missed came back and got him again.
And Rody Jones is in the football game. Handoff Barnes over the 15, spins down to about the 20-yard line. Bobby Gibson had him, would not let go. Picks up 4 on the play, 2nd and 6.
Shane Willis is standing up and on the sidelines, doesn't look hurt in any way. So maybe they're just giving Rudy his chance to come out here and get some experience under his belt.
Barnes over 100 yards again, 2nd game in a row. 2nd and 6 on the 20, the I formation. Barnes over the 20, 25, and Barnes down to about the 29-yard line. A pick of a 9 on the play. Sean Sheehan and McGlynn making the tackle. I was watching Underwood. The homecoming king was leading the block. You got to like
There he is, big 6'8". Yeah, that when running back runs for over 100 yards, it says a lot for the offensive line, too. There he is,
Look at
Underwood.
Look at Underwood.
He's just looking for somebody to pulverize.
Great blocking, David Underwood. 1st and 10, that was a first down. Handoff Barnes again over the 30, 35, and he's down at around the 39-yard line. Another 9-yard pickup. Mourning and Player on the tackle, but this time the offensive line is just opening up gaping holes.
Yeah, and there's Rudy Jones in at quarterback, and it makes it a lot more fun to come in and just hand the ball off every time when you're picking up 10 yards a clip.
That time they gave Barnes 9, and he's going out. In the game, Kevin Getlin, the freshman. 2nd and 1 on the 39. Rudy drops, looks, throws, complete to Beckton at the 45, and Beckton steps out of bounds right there at the 45. Another first down for the Knights.
That was an audible by Rudy Jones. He saw the defensive back was playing off, called Orange 51, and the 50 is the protection, 5-man protection, and the 1 is the quick out, and that's what they did. He just steps 3 steps back, throws the quick out. It's always nice to get your first completion under the way, too. You know, you don't want to throw it up long or anything like that. Just give him a nice, quick, easy one, and once you get your first one, you become a little bit more calm.
1st and 10 on the 45. Pitch to Gatlin. Gatlin over the 45 to the 50. 45, 40. Down at the 35-yard line. A pickup of about 20 on the play. Kevin Gatlin.
Gatlin's probably got, what, 2 carries for now 25 yards.
Not
That's
bad.
pretty good for your average. Offensive line, Johnny Jordan in there blocking. Everyone's just doing a great job, and some pretty good moves by the freshman.
Looks like a timeout by the Owls. Head coach Rich Kavanaugh brings his defensive team over to the far side.
Yeah, they're just getting beat up now. I think maybe the humidity, I don't know, can't be the weather. It's not hot, it's beautiful weather. But I think just the overall experience from UCF, a little bit bigger, I think that's just starting to wear down that defensive line and the linebacking core.
We should mention the Knights hit the road next week at Valdosta State. That's not a bad football team.
No, it's not. In fact, I almost went to Valdosta State. Coming here, I took one of my recruiting visits there and one here. I really like the campus. It's real pretty, and of course Valdosta is a big football town. Their high school football team, Valdosta, is always up in national rankings as well.
How big's the stadium at Valdosta?
Oh, they play in Valdosta High School, which is a bowl that seats about 20,000. It's amazing. High school stadium.
Wow.
Well, they used to back about 5 years ago. They may have built their own since then. I really don't know, but that's what they used to do.
1st and 10. There's Rudy Jones in for Shane Willis. Willis is not injured. Handoff Barnes, big hole, 30. And he's down at the 29-yard line. Reggie Player finally got him down, but he picks up about 6 on the play. And Barnes is hitting that hole so quick. He's getting it so quick, and getting that hole is wide open for him. Let's watch.
Yeah, the difference between the first half and this half is just a half a step by the offensive lineman and a half a step by Gil Barnes. But when you add both of those up, it's just that little inch you need to get through the initial hole, and it turns what was in the first half a 1 or 2 yard gain into a 10, 15 yard gain.
2nd and 2 on the 28. Barnes down at the 26-yard line. He's about 1.5 yards short of that first down, it looks like. Steven Stearns on the tackle. Gill is over his 129-yard performance of last week. He's got around, unofficially, 140 yards rushing today.
Well, what a drive, too. Keeping it on the ground, just eating up the clock as well as some yards and tiring out that defense all in one drive.
3rd down, 2. Now, Rhodey could be aurobalizing. He's in the shotgun. Back to pass, looks, throws in the end zone. Roundtree just over his hands. Rhodey let him just a little too much.
Rudy let that thing sail, and I'm sure when he gets some more playing time, he's gonna fire that thing a little better. But he just kind of trying to let his receiver run under it, which is what you want to do. But he just put it up, floated a little too much.
Blake Holton in to attempt.
Chantel made a nice effort at it.
A 44-yard field goal. Spencer kneeling down. The set, the kick, it's up in the air, it's high enough, and it is no good. Wide to the right. The Knights remain in front 24-10. 6:56 left in the 4th quarter, and the Owls take over on offense. Quarterback Dennis Wade comes out. They'll keep the football where it was marked on the 27.
Well, after a good drive, no points came out of it.
I don't know how long the Owls can keep running the football, Neil, with the clock at 6:56. Wade, hand off the draw to Cropper. Cropper over the 35-yard line. He's about 2 yards short of that first down. Ivory on the tackle.
Cropper, I believe, tomorrow morning when he wakes up is going to be in some pain. He has gone off the field a couple of times, holding different parts of his body. He's shaking his cobwebs off his head. He's just getting beat up. But good afternoon for him. He's run the draw to perfection here today.
He's got to be close to 100 yards rushing. 2nd and 3. The handoff right up the middle. First down, close to the 39. Parnell McCall on the tackle. And it's Cropper again.
I think you're right. 6:17 in the game. Clock stops for the first down. Now it's running again. But how long can you go without throwing the football? You're down by 2 touchdowns. It doesn't leave you a lot of time.
The Owls trying to snap a 14-game losing streak. Wade throws far side. It's complete to Smith, and Smith is wrestled down by Ray Irvin. Let's see where they mark the football. About a yard and a half short of another first down.
Chris Smith, also the punter, started half the year last year. I think as he was running out towards the sidelines, he made one step up like he was going to run downfield. The defensive back had to respect that good on field, and that's what opened him up to make that catch.
Second down 2 on the 47. Wade back, throws, screen play to Cropper. Cropper is hit from behind by Simmons at the 49-yard line. He probably got the first down. Lindsey also helping out.
I think Lindsey tackled him and pushed him over the first down marker. He's holding something different now.
Well, that guy has got more aches and pains. We're talking about Cropper.
But he is certainly not giving up. Well, the screen and the draw, looked like that ball was a little bit tipped, I think, by Parnell McCall. And there's the hit. Ooh, you saw his head snap back like that. He wasn't expecting somebody to come up from behind and hit him.
Simmons and Lindsey on the hard tackle. They stretch the chain. It's a first down. 5:09 left, fourth quarter. Knights looking for their 6th win in 7 games. Our next telecast, Georgia Southern, in 2 weeks.
Which is our last telecast.
Wade throws. It's complete at the 50-yard line. That's Noten. Open field tackle by Bill Stewart. Sometimes those are the toughest tackles. Open field. Carl Newton made the catch. He's tackled at the 49-yard line. It'll be second down and 8.
It's a short pattern. Look at that. Just clips up an ankle. Bill Stewart from Seffner Armwood right down the road on I-4. Heading towards Tampa.
Wade. Pressure throws, complete to Cropper. Cropper avoids a couple of tacklers, tries to get outside and really can't. He's tackled at the 47-yard line. Felder was down there. There's Bill Stewart.
Well, that was you saw it was a good play. We were talking before of pursuit. You know, one guy misses him, but everyone else is there, comes up one by one to help out on the tackle. And a couple guys have a shot at this, and while the first couple miss, he still doesn't pick up that many yards. Cropper's making a couple people miss just by being a good running back, and Bill Stewart just comes up. They keep filling the gaps.
Third down 6 on the 47. Wade throws in and out of the hands of Steve Spears, who had a great chance for an interception. And Spears is kicking himself.
I think that was Darryl Ivory.
Oh, that's Ivory.
Yeah,
that's right.
98 instead of 99. And maybe all that little tape on the fingers there.
Tough to hold on to the football.
Well, he's known for catching quarterbacks and etc. instead of catching footballs. Had a good shot at it. Here you see it.
And Spears was rushing.
Nice pass. Boy.
Fourth down and 6.
They're going for it.
Wade looks, throws, incomplete. Daniels, the intended receiver, around the 33-yard line, but Felder was all over him. And it's Knights ball.
Well, that play was open earlier, if you remember, and Wade overthrew him. This time he kind of overthrew him again, but they said they had to go back to the play since it was so open.
Angel Mason in the game. Rudy Jones stays in the game. And there's Shane Willis with the helmet off. Number 12. Another good game. First and 10 on the 47. Handoff Mesa. Mesa tripped up at around the 48-yard line. Might have got a yard on the play.
Peter Cusick, nice play. Right outside linebacker, grabbed an ankle.
3:13 and counting. Knights on top, 24-10. Owls have played a good football game. It's too bad they're going to probably leave here at 0-6 and extend their losing streak to 15 in a row.
They have nothing to hang their heads about. Southern Connecticut State played a whale of a football game, and they should go back up to Connecticut with a lot of pride.
Rudy looking, and he's hit. The ball is in the air. It's loose. And it looks like the Owls might have it. They do at the 40-yard line.
Well, now the game is certainly not over. That's the break they needed.
Kavickas with the fumble recovery.
Jones not used to feeling any kind of pressure. That came from the backside. He didn't feel it, didn't see it, didn't know it was coming. And a nice play to jar the football loose, and then they get on. It looked like UCF had a chance to recover it, too. There, he's coming from back. He has no idea the guy's there.
Cusick puts the hard hit on.
Ball pops up. Looks like Marsden, number 60, had a shot to get on it.
The Owls have it on the 40-yard line of UCF. 2:42 left in the game. Wade, pump fakes, looks, throws over the middle, and it's complete at the 20-yard line. Smith makes the catch. First down, they move the chain.
Chris Smith, he's 6'1", only 165 pounds. But since that 6'1" frame, I guess he just reached out and stretched down there. Just over the defensive back's fingers. Nice concentration to make that grab.
Wade looking. Time, throws, incomplete. Bounces it out in front of Smith around the 3-yard line.
The defensive line, the pressure is putting the pressure actually on the defensive backs because that defensive line is just not getting in there. He had all kinds of time to look for a receiver, but the defensive backs, even running around 4 or 5 seconds trying to cover the receivers, did a good job.
Kirk Wiley putting that pressure on the quarterback, Wade. Stops the clock at 2:26. Owls trail by 14, 24-10. Wade. Hand off. Cropper, 10-5, touchdown.
Boy, how often has that draw worked today? Gee whiz, probably 12 times they have run it, and 10 of those it's been to perfection. They've got at least 9-10 yards off of it. They've got a touchdown. They've got a touchdown before off of that play.
Here it is again.
Well, if the initial wave does not tackle him, this is what's going to happen. And he spun out of that initial wave of tacklers. Keith Evans just one-on-one couldn't handle him. Cropper's just too good.
DeFlorio to attempt the extra point. The set, the kick, and it's blocked. And they can return it. Well, they're thinking in the right direction. They wanted to hand off and keep it down. If they return it, it's 2 points.
That's exactly right, and now that's a big play also because if the Owls do happen to score again, they have to go for 2 just to tie the football game.
I'd love to see that play again. Who tried to hand off?
I think that was Wyatt Bogan who had it and flipped it back when he was going over on his back. But gee whiz, Southern Connecticut, really an outstanding game, and because we've never seen them play this season, it is really hard for us to imagine that they are going to be 0-6 after this game if they do lose.
Yep. 24-16. And look for the onside kick here. 2:20 left in the football game.
Yeah, the hands team is in for UCF.
Yep.
What you'll see is instead of the regular kickoff return team, all the best people with the best hands of the team. You'll see a lot of wide receivers, tight ends out there, first and second teamers. They're just waiting for that ball to roll on the ground. They got the best hands, so they'll just scoop it up. That's the theory.
Weren't you on the all hands team?
That's the first team I made when I was on the scout team. I was on the hands team. I just loved it. That was not a lot of chance to use it during the game, as you can tell. Only deep late in the game.
DeFlorio. Let's see if he goes for the onside kick. They're setting up for the onside kick. Look at this. Look at this alignment. Bounces it around. And the Knights will have it. Knights recovered it around the 42-yard line.
Well, I tell you why they do that. They just line everyone up along the ball, and then they just kick it so the ball is going to go 10 yards. What you want to do, all those linemen down there, for the Owls, want to go down and just hit somebody. And then the kicker or someone who's designated to get the ball, he just follows the ball, and hopefully your guys knock all their people out of UCF, and your designated fumble recovery or whatever guy just jumps on the ball after 10 yards.
Roundtree fell on it. Barnes is hit right behind the line of scrimmage at around the 47-yard line. Didn't have a chance. Gibson and McGlynn on the hit and tackle.
Well, the Owls have 2 timeouts left. Let's see, they may be using one here. Yeah, they are. So 2:07 left in the game. If UCF does not get a first down, The Owls will get the football back.
That time Barnes really had no chance. They were in the backfield with him when he had the ball.
Well, they had to know that UCF was going to keep it on the ground, play conservative, try and run out the clock. They just brought everybody up, came flying in.
Gators lose today, 24-9 to Vanderbilt. Commodores really had the Gators number in Nashville.
Hey, Vandy's
Being
got a good
former Gator, I'm kind of dejected, but what do you expect when you lose Emmett Smith and Kyle Morris?
Yeah, and your quarterback, Stacy Simmons, wide receiver.
And what's bad about it, the Gators have the toughest part of their schedule coming up.
Yeah. Same with UCF.
Sort of like UCF, I was going to say. Look at Barnes, 124 yards. So he lost about 4 on that play. So he's not going to top his 129 yet. Let's see what happens. He had 129 yards last week. A handoff to Balacius, stumbles ahead to about the 48, maybe picks up 1 on the play. It'll be 3rd down, 13.
And you know what? It seems like they're going back to being tentative again. You know, you're running plays that maybe are conservative, but you still can't be tentative. The offensive linemen have got to fire out. The backs have to come firing off the football. And it just seems like they're back into their first half, kind of just going through the motions again. And now it's 3rd and forever here, 3rd and 13. Here's the play again. Watch Balacius. He'll just kind of tiptoe. The offensive line's not blowing anybody off the ball. It's all white shirts just stacking them up.
Making a tackle was Mourning on that last play, so 2:02.
The Owls will get the football back, but they have no timeouts left.
Brody Jones discussing strategy with Gene McDowell and Rick Stockstill, along with Shane Willis without the helmet. 3rd down and 13. Rudy comes back to the huddle. The Owls have 1 timeout, no timeouts left.
I tell you also, Rudy, if the Knights do win this one, it's got some good experience for Rudy Jones because he is in the thick of things. You know, this is not a gimme game, and you're giving him playing experience, not when it's a blowout, but when it's real close.
And Rudy's in the shotgun. Drops back, looks, throws, over the middle, Beckton, incomplete. Just threw it a little wide of Beckton around the 15-yard line. Rudy's got a strong arm.
Oh, he does have a rocket shot, and I think his first pass, he knew the one he lofted way up and over. He didn't want to do that again, so he stepped and really chucked this one just out of the reach of Beckton.
Knights punting team comes in. Barry Key does the punting. He sets up on his 40-yard line. The Owls have 9 men on the line of scrimmage. Here they come. Key, high punt, not too long, and angles it to the near side, and it goes out of bounds.
Barry has trouble with his coffin corner kicks.
Around the 20-yard line, 21-yard line.
Anything inside the 20 is considered good. Inside the 10, of course, is what you want. But he almost got it, not the 20.
20-yard kick for Key, so the Owls have a chance. If they do score a touchdown, they'd have to go for 2 to tie the game.
Now, the offense is going right from the line of scrimmage. Defense better get ready. They're still kind of in the huddle, just mulling around.
Wade, the quarterback, throws. It's complete at the 40-yard line and hit right there and pushed back. Now, Byron Felder put the hard hit on.
The thing that is going to help the Owls here is every time they get a first down, the clock is going to stop till they set everything up, they set the chains up, gives the offense time, they set up, call an audible, call a play. In the pros, that wouldn't happen. The clock just keeps running.
John Kennedy made that catch. Wade looks, throws, overthrew his intended receiver Kennedy around the 40-yard line. 1:38 left. Knights leading 24-16.
Actually, the best thing for UCF to have happen here is let them complete the short pass, tackle them before they get a first down, then the clock will continue to run.
Southern Connecticut State University. Wade, the quarterback. In the pocket, throws, complete at the 50. Giovanni Daniels stumbles ahead. There are a couple of flags on the play. Face mask penalty probably on Bill Stewart.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times now. I guess now 2 on UCF and 1 for UCF when they were running the football. Here's the pass. They're giving them all kinds of time. UCF only rushing 3 people. And there you see it. Well, actually, that looked like it was... That's a pretty good acting job.
Great acting by
Yeah, he grabbed the back of his
Daniels.
jersey. So now we know that the acting classes are very good up in Southern Connecticut.
The call from head referee Don Carter.
That's a heads-up play. I mean, if you're an offensive player and they even come close, why not? You know, if they don't call it, big deal. But if they do call it, you get pick up some extra yards for your team.
First and 10 on the 44 UCF. The draw play to Cropper. Cropper over the 30, down at the 26-yard line. Another first down. Bill Stewart on the tackle.
There is a flag, and it's holding against the Owls, and that's a big break because they are way down at the 25-yard line now of UCF. And there was no need for that holding penalty. When the flag came out, the draw had already crossed the line of scrimmage. I tell you, whoever committed that error is going to get it big time from the coaches.
One of the offensive linemen for the Owls discussing it with Don Carter, the referee.
In the third period, Notre Dame 28, Miami 21.
I don't know if you heard that, but the Notre Dame Fighting Irish leading in the third quarter over Miami, 28-21. The holding penalty, 10 yards, pushes it back to the 41-yard line of Southern Connecticut. Here's the run play again.
Here's the end of it. We've talked about how good Cropper is. Give him a little daylight, and he can break a big play.
Wade, screen pass to Cropper. Stewart misses him. Felder misses him. And Bogan makes sure he goes out of bounds.
But if they make that stop, if one of those three players makes that tackle instead of missing him, the clock continues to run. Now he goes out of bounds, stops the clock. True, he doesn't pick up a lot of yards, but he does stop the clock. And with only 51 seconds left, you got to figure by now it's already at 43, 42.
51 seconds. 24-16. UCF on top. Wade throws, and it is caught by Daniels. And around the 35-yard line.
That is a heck of a catch. Keith Evans, they have been doing that all day. Was right there, popped him when he got it, but the sophomore held on to it. Here's the end of it. Nice throw. Keith Evans is right there.
Back to the action. Flags down. The pass is complete to Daniels at around the 31-yard line. Spitalski and Felder on the tackle.
Daniels looks tired.
He does look tired. I don't think he's going to go out with 10 seconds left in the game and counting. I don't know why the clock is counting. Obviously, a mistake here.
Yeah, when the flag went up, the clock stopped.
Illegal proceed. Offense. Offside. Defense. Replay the down. Third.
That'll be third and short again. Both people were a little anxious and jumped.
The clock says 7 seconds or shows 7 seconds, and obviously that is not correct. Once that flag went down, the clock should have stopped. And I think the officials will discuss that.
That's probably what they're talking about right now. How much time to put back on the clock.
That Notre Dame-Miami game turning into a whale of a football game.
And this one is due, unfortunately.
We've got a lot of good football games today.
Florida schools having it rough.
Now Don Carter, the official referee, talking with the side judge who's keeping the official time on the field.
I think they just said 17 seconds. So that would mean 10 more seconds to be put back on the clock.
That's what they're going to do. Homecoming, and the Knights want to get another victory. That would be their second straight homecoming victory, counting last year's 45-3 rout of Northwest Missouri State. The Knights take on Valdosta State next week on the road, back home against Georgia Southern, back on the road for the last two games, Liberty University and Eastern Kentucky University. And then, hopefully, the playoffs. Counting that clock down. 22,000 plus today pushing the Knights over 100,000. In fact, over 109,000 for the season.
And 22,000 worried plus today.
Rich Kavanaugh with the arms folded, head coach of the Owls. He has nothing to be ashamed of today. 17 seconds left on the clock. Knights on top by 8 points.
That's a big point. They missed that extra point, so if the Owls do score, they have to go for 2 just to tie the football game.
We hope to go down to Manny Messinger and Gene McDowell after the game. Wade throws, and it is caught in the air at around the 15-yard line by Daniels, and he calls the timeout. And I don't think they have a timeout. Giovanni Daniels called a timeout they didn't have.
The clock will stop while they move the chains, but I guess there's no penalty. It'll start to run.
Okay, go ahead.
11 seconds left.
10 seconds. Wade throws it out of bounds to stop the clock with 8 seconds remaining. Now, I would think there'd be a penalty on Daniels for, no timeouts. He's calling the timeout.
Well, the officials can just blow it off as saying, hey, we didn't see him. The only one guy, I think, called the timeout, and they can say the clock stops anyway while the chains move, so just go ahead and play it.
And Wade, Dennis Wade, the quarterback.
They said he's just a great natural leader. He said it during the telecast. We ran a clip of him talking, and he was just saying, hey, I think that's my biggest asset is that I'm a good leader, and he's showing it.
He's only a sophomore from Middletown, Connecticut. Dennis Wade, 8 seconds left. Back to pass. Wade, there's a flag down. Wade, 10, 5, down at the 3-yard line. And that should be the game, but there is a flag down.
Flag on the play.
There is a flag down.
UCF seems to think that it's on Southern, and Wyatt Bogan says it is. They should decline it, and that'll be the game.
Holding. Offense. Game's over.
That's it. You heard it from Don Carter. The game is over. What a football game here at the Florida Citrus Bowl, Orlando. The Knights win it 24-16. The crowd now can go home fairly happy, I would think.
And the way the referee just said that is the way UCF feels. Hey, game's over. Just get it out of here. 24-16. It was closer than they wanted. They wanted a blowout. Just barely got through. And that's not what they wanted. They wanted to take a rest and everything, take kind of this week off, but still win the football game. I guess that's what happened. You can't get up for every football game. They did not get up for this one, but they did win it. That's the good signs. Now they can start getting up for the rest.
Our official Blazers. Now you can see them. I've been always talking about them. We're like twins, right? What a game. 24-16, 7-7 at halftime. And Gene McDowell, during the Manny Messinger halftime interview, said intensity. We lack intensity. Obviously, he kicked some butts in the locker room and got them woken up.
Oh, yeah, the first couple drives they came down, got some points out of, and that has to help. It picks everybody up, gets the crowd up, momentum starts rolling in your favor. And I'm sure you could tell in the interview, Coach McDowell was just a little perturbed, and he was going to go in there and heads were going to roll.
Well, you know Gene. When Gene is not happy, you get the verbal abuse in the locker room.
Oh, yeah, you feel it. When Gene's not happy, when you go into the locker room at halftime, you go sit in the back, and you kind of tick your head back in the stall a little bit so he won't yell at you personally. But they know what they're talking about, and they don't get too upset, and they don't get too out of control. They know what they want to do, and they just try and make you do it. They said, hey, the offensive line is just not have the intensity, just not blowing the holes open enough. They're just missing it by that much. Come on, guys, let's go. We can do this, and we can win it.
I like what Gene McDowell did late in the game, putting Rudy Jones in to get some experience in tight situations.
It was a little tight. It could have cost him. I mean, Rudy didn't feel the pressure from the backside. That's something you kind of learn to feel out. And he did fumble the football, gave the Owls another chance to win the game or at least tie the game or what have you. But now Rudy has that experience under his belt. He's got that win. And it didn't seem like Shane was hurt. We'll have to find out. I guess he looked like he was healthy.
Let's go down to Manny with head coach Gene McDowell. Manny?
All right, Coach, here we are in victory, which is a lot better than we were last week. But tell us, first of all, Coach, what did you like about this game?
I like the win, of course. We played a terrible first half offensively, played pretty well defensively the first half. Probably the best thing was that our kicking game was the best it's been all year. We were nearly perfect in the field goal extra point operation. We missed that last field goal, which we should have made. But other than that, it was a real good day in the kicking game. Defensively, we played fairly well. I didn't think in the fourth quarter that our defense played very well. Other than that, I thought they did a good job.
Now, the whole team seemed to be a little bit down there at the end of the first half. But they came back and they showed some intensity, and they played very, very well, I think, compared to the first half, the second half, even though the score didn't show that.
Well, the thing that surprised me in the third and fourth quarter was how well their quarterback threw the ball. It's the best he's thrown it all year. And sometimes you've got to be prepared to deal with an opponent giving their best performance against you. We won the game. That's what happened. You know, that's what counts. I'm happy with it.
Well, like they say, that's what counts, the big win. Now, Rudy Jones, we've played him a while. He looked awful good.
He looked very good. He's still not as good as Shane, not nearly as good as Shane, but he's a very good second-team quarterback, and I hope we'll get a chance to play him some more during the rest of the season. We're going to have to play better than we've played in the last couple of weeks to win any more games this year, though, because the rest of our schedule is tough. Valdosta State coming up this week up there, they're going to be fired up to play us. Sometimes it's good that you look bad. At least when they see us on film, they won't be very impressed with us, so maybe that'll help us beat them.
Well, maybe you'll pull a Joe Gibbs and send the worst films you got, and that way they won't be ready for it. But we sure appreciate it, Coach, and thanks for stopping by and saying a few words to the listeners out there.
You bet, Manny. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Coach. Back to you, John.
Okay, Manny, great job with head coach Gene McDowell. Recapping real quick the scoring in the second half, it was 7-7 at halftime. Then the Knights got on the scoreboard in the third quarter. Blake Holton, a 40-yard field goal, 10-7. Barnes, a 17-yard run, 17-7 Knights. DeFlorio, 22-yard field goal, fourth quarter, made the score 17-10 UCF. And then Willis had Beckton, 20-yard touchdown pass, 24-10. The final points, Cropper, a 10-yard run. Extra point was no good. That was a key. Final score 24-16, the UCF Knights. And Neil, 6-1 for UCF, 0-6 for Southern Connecticut. Now they hit the road.
Yeah, now comes the tough part of their schedule, and they really wanted to be undefeated going into this. Of course, Liberty is now, last year anyway, they said they were going up to 1A. You know, they've got Eastern Kentucky, although they have a couple of losses. Always a tough team in 1AA. In fact, we've never beaten them here at UCF. We've got Georgia Southern, you know, back-to-back national champions. They're always tough. So, and like Coach McDowell said, we're going to have to start playing better football if we're going to win. But maybe it's good. It's such a mental game, football, you know. If you look at films and you say, these guys aren't that good, look at UCF. They may have looked at Southern Connecticut, the players, and said, these guys aren't that great. Take them a little lightly, and they play a good football team. Maybe that'll work to our advantage. If Georgia Southern and et cetera look at our films and say, these guys must not be that great this year.
Well, great job. Once again, my thanks to Manny Messinger, Neil Beasley, and the entire Cablevision of Central Florida staff. I'm John Anthony. Final score again from the Florida Citrus Bowl, Orlando. UCF 24, Southern Connecticut 16. In 2 weeks, we'll be back with another telecast, this time against the Georgia Southern Eagles. Have a nice night, everyone.